Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to... Holy jeez, look at that. I'm going to spill my Pepsi over here. Good evening. My name is Daddy Alex. You are watching the Thursday Big Show, my friends. And a big show it is. Welcome. Not too much has happened since Tuesday, since the last big show, but there have been a few tidbits, there have been a few morsels in the world of pop culture. We're going to check it out. Of course, Daredevil, Season 2, Episode 4. Oh, geez. I tell you. You talk about lumpy shows. Lumpy shows are like when all of these like little like almost when the plot turns into like little snowballs, and they don't really glide into each other. They're just like lumpy balls of meat, like you throw in the barbecue, and we're gonna talk about episode 4, season 2. That's our top story. I have not been watching Star Wars. What is it called? Dark Maul? The new Star Wars? And where was it? I was looking at something that was there it is. Let me share this right off the bat. It's very interesting, I guess, from the perspective of seeing what people are watching. Let me put this up here. Let me share the screen. Top 10. Now this is just on Disney Plus. There really isn't a whole lot happening on Disney Plus. Let me add that to stage. There we go. Yada yada yada. Let me fix that up just a little bit. So here you see the top TV shows on Disney Plus on April 9th, 2026. I guess that would have been for yesterday, because today is April 9th. But anyway, you can see Star Wars Maul, Shadow Lord, 727. It's in the lead. Daredevil, Born Again at number 2. The Testaments, Dear Killer. These are things I'm not watching. Maybe you guys are. I am not watching these things. High Potential. I see a lot of advertising for it, man. Love Story Parrot. But anyway, the point is Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord is taking the top spot, easily taking the top spot over Daredevil Born Again. And the thing is, I have never really been a huge Daredevil fan. I haven't been. And I started watching season 1 because you know what? I thought it was actually The Punisher. I stuck with it. It's The Punisher that sold me. And talking about The Punisher, we got a trailer from The Punisher coming out. We're going to take a look at later in the show. John Bernthal, he's the producer and the director about this 1-hour show that's coming on May 12th. So we got a little trailer. But anyway, the point is Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord, so I might give it a chance. I'm not really into animation all that much. Some people have said, you know what, it's actually pretty good, so I'm going to give it a chance. I have been watching, I finished season 1 of Deadwood. Guys, if you haven't watched Deadwood, and it was someone on the channel, I think it was Vivander who said that they, and I love a good Western, right? I love a good Western, because there's not many good Westerns out there. And finished the first season of Deadwood, and I loved it. Loved it. I still got to keep watching The Expanse, but I'm on season. I watched the third Harry Potter, and it was finally the first 2 Harry Potters bored me. Right, I'm trying to get into Harry Potter a little bit. The third one was a little bit more, palatable. So I don't know if you guys are Harry Potter fans. But I'm trying to get some of this stuff under my belt that I might have missed over the, because there isn't a whole lot of great TV out there right now. So Deadwood, I got 2 seasons. I'm really happy about that because I'm really freaking enjoying it. And The Expanse, I'm about 3/4 way season 1. I got it. But anyway, that is, so Star Wars Maul, you know what? I'm going to watch the first episode. If it hooks me, I'll keep talking about it here on Pop Rageous. I know a lot of people, there's Star Wars sucks. basically, I mean, the smattering of Star Wars fans that are left out there, you know, I guess you could call me, I'm a little bit of a Star Wars purist, right? And I'm a screenwriter. And so when I take a look at the whole basis, look, Star Wars has never had the greatest stories. They've had an amazing world building. Now the first three, or I should say episodes 4, 5, and 6 were fantastic, except the third one, I mean, that's, you know, the Ewoks and all that. You kind of take the Ewok stuff or supplant it with something else. I know Lucas, he really wanted that, right? He really wanted the Ewoks, what George Lucas, but Star Wars has always been, the strongest has been world building. And especially since Disney's gotten their paws on it, the stories have become bubblegum, cookie cutter. Basically, their story and their plot is all based on convenience, right? It's all based on convenience. It is insane, the stupidity of some of these Star Wars scripts. And as a screenwriter, you're like, really? That was your, I mean, was that was your best idea? Really? It's shocking to me as a screenwriter, like what some of the things they actually they come up with. So anyway, you know, and of course, you probably, if you're with Pop Rageous, everything, it's like on a constant hill down. Season 2 of Ahsoka, I mean, I'm looking forward to that, just to get some ripping in, just to get a little bit of Dave Filoni rippage in. Now, look, if it's good, if it's good, I'll say it's good. I got no problem with it, right? I got no problem with if someone makes something good. You know, it's like you got to bow down and say, you know what? It actually wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. Daredevil is going down pretty fast. As a matter of fact, you know what? We didn't even, which is surprising, we didn't even see Charlie Cox's face in episode 4 of Daredevil. Not once. He was in the Daredevil costume the whole time. It's like, what are you trying to say? I'm ugly? Normally these actors have these clauses in their contracts. I mean, that's what I mean, he's a good-looking guy. He's a British guy, right? He's British. He's a British guy. He's well-spoken. Don't know if you ever heard him speak, but he's a well-spoken guy, you know? Actually, great guy, Charlie Cox. And he's a great actor, plays the role really well. And again, I maintain it. I will say it once every show at least. I think, I'm going to screw up his name, the Kingpin, D'Onofrio. I think he sucks. Absolutely sucks. I think he doesn't show any of the degree of the intensity that Kingpin has always been since the 1960s. Since I can, I guess the 1970s for me as a little kid watching it. I think it's the weakest link. Your relationship between protagonist and antagonist is so important, right? And you need that antagonist. It's like when John Bernthal came out in The Punisher, season 1 of Born Again. If nothing sold you on that season, and look, it's not a great season. It's one of the better Marvel seasons. There's not much good Marvel out there, right? So, there's no intensity. He's like sleepy lackadaisical. You know, I got to say it once every show until the season is over. Vincent D'Onofrio. I think if Evander was here, he'd be pretty proud of me. Pretty proud. Vincent D'Onofrio. Don't like him. I think he is a weak link. Very weak link. But now, we're going to get to it now. There's been some news about Odyssey, right? Christopher Nolan Odyssey. We all know about that. We know about the Helen of Troy race swap. Oh, gee, I don't know. We'll have to see how that works out. Does it work out? Cleopatra? Closest thing to that was Cleopatra. With Jaden Pika Smith, whatever her name. I don't even remember her name. When she tried to race swap Cleopatra. Didn't work out. Even the Egyptian government sued. It was all bad, right? So doesn't make sense. But anyway, Tom Holland is making comments. He saw the movie. Tom Holland Tom Holland saw the movie. Now, so we got a little bit of tidbits from Tom Holland. I like Tom Holland. I think he's a great guy. But he's in the movie. He saw the movie. He's seen it. I guess let me use proper English. He's seen it. So we're gonna jump into that a little bit. I don't know. You know what? Here's the thing that's already ridiculous about the Odyssey. You would think that there would be some great movie posters already, right? The Odyssey, right? Like you would think there's some great movie poster that just like grabs your attention. Literally, the movie poster you see right there of Matt Damon is like the best one out there. There's nothing. There's no images that draw you in. It's quite shocking. I mean, if I was on the marketing team of this movie, I'd say, guys, can we give him some eye candy to start, salivating over? But this is literally the best image for a movie poster there is for the Odyssey. The other one is Matt Damon with the back of his head, right? Oh, that's a great movie image. See the back of Matt Damon's head in a helmet. Oh, great movie poster. It's not my movie. Look, Christopher Nolan can write a crap movie. He can make a crap movie. I'm not a big fan of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. I've made my peace. I say it out. I say it with pride. Not a big fan of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. I think Heath Ledger made the second one. Anyway, regardless of whether you agree or not, it's opinion. I think they're way overrated, all of them. He is capable of making a not. I don't know if he's made a bad movie. He is an amazing. He is one of the greatest directors, right? Obviously. He's also a writer. He's a good writer too. So, but he is capable of Tenet, right? You guys watch Tenet? Tenet wasn't great. It was kind of like, and I'm a science guy, right? I am a huge science nerd. I have a science channel, everything, right? I spend most of my time with my science channel. Even Tenet was kind of like, okay, how are you trying to piece this concept together? Even he didn't know, really, right? So I don't know if you guys watched Tenet. It's an interesting look. If you're going to stream it, do it. You got to watch every Christopher Nolan movie. Even if you don't go to see it in theaters, you stream it at the very least, right? At the very, very least. I mean, Christopher Nolan. Cheers. I got a full glass of wine tonight. I felt like a full glass. I wanted some vino. I got vino. Cheers to your Thursday night, my friends. Ooh, that will warm the soul. Oh, so good. So good. The hell is that? Ketchup? I got ketchup on my shoulder. I don't know how you get ketchup on your shoulder. Only I could do that. And we also have the WGA, the writers. You know, it's not a big thing, but it could be a big thing if they don't come to an agreement. So we're going to touch on that. There's also some Warner Brothers and Paramount stuff that's going on. We're going to touch on as well later in the show. Anything that the chat comes up with, we'll throw on, talk about. It's always open game here on Poprageous. So let's start. Do we want to start Daredevil? That's what we're starting off with, guys. Daredevil. Episode 2. Sorry, I was going to say season 4. Season 2. Episode 4. I don't know if you guys have been watching it. It's been a steady decline downwards. Let me pull up the IMDb because sometimes I need to remember the names. And it's like always. One thing that we're finding now, if you're watching the show, and if you're not watching it, every decision is a woman's decision. Every decision is a woman's decision, and that's what's happening. Even Matt Murdock, right? When he figures out about having to go to the fight and the whole thing with it was actually Karen Page that figured out that's the final pieced it together. It's like Matt Murdock was kind of like we don't see this. He was in the costume the whole time. We are, oh my God, I got advertising for Masters of the Universe, guys. I will guarantee you that will be a flop like none other. Masters of the Universe. What? Fuck, that looks just like garbage. Looks like just, but Daredevil. And I have never been a Daredevil fan. Never have. Not particularly never been one of my favorite characters. But one thing that we see with it's interesting though. There's not much superhero stuff going on. Period. And there's anything good. When you think are we all waiting for Supergirl? Like, are you? Are we waiting for Supergirl? No. So Daredevil is kind of the best superhero movie of a really bad lot. And the lots just keep getting worse, right? They just keep getting worse. There's a few highlights. Obviously, Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock. But he's becoming a little bit of a cuck. He's being, as we say in the movie business, he's being cuckified. I don't know. That's not really something we say in the screenwriting business. But now there are spoilers in this, so if you don't want to get spoiled on episode 4, Vanessa, guys, I'll put it right out there. At the end, it looks like Vanessa dies. That's the big reveal, right? Vanessa dies. Yep. That's the big one. And now, from a screenwriting perspective, it makes sense. If I was, you want these big incidents to happen because there you can create some real intensity around the character. Vanessa was becoming, basically, they had some stupid lines in there, right? She met with the governor, and of course, the governor's a female, right? So anyone who's in power is going to be a female now in Daredevil. Anyone who makes a decision is going to be a female in Daredevil now. That's just the way it is, okay? But there was they were meeting, but the governor-ness, well, how would you say governor-ness? I would say she wouldn't work with Mr. Matt Aviat kills us. Where did I write it down? Is that near the top? Oh yeah. Do this. Oh yeah, I can back. There it is. I can't back Mayor Fisk, but I can back Mayor Mr. and Mrs. Fisk, right? As long as the Miss is in there, as long as but it basically boils down to the theme that is going across the TV show. Karen Page made more, discoveries and decisions than Matt Murdock did. Matt Murdock, he was a good listener. He was a great listener this episode. But anyway, it starts off with basically Bullseye's morning routine. And I do like Bullseye. I think the actor is good. The costume, it looks like he's just going out on a cold summer or a winter day, right? It's like he's got a little ski mask. Like, is that all you guys could think of? Like, get like a winter ski mask. It seems to me that the costume department probably could have come up with a little bit more of just a cool looking suit for at least a face mask, right? The face is always what does it for, but anyway, the actor, I like the actor playing Bullseye. I like the way they're handling him. He's kind of like he's like one of these, he's a slight super dude, Street Fighter guy. He's got no defensive superpowers, but he's got some freaking killer offensive powers when it comes to the street level superhero, right? I mean, he's probably right up there with, to a certain degree with Daredevil. Daredevil obviously is a better hand-to-hand fighter. So we basically start off with, and we get right to a stupid part right away. He goes to this diner, orders a banana milkshake, and the AVTF or the AVFT? AVTF. I mean, these guys are really, they're about as dumb as you get. Right? I mean, he's sitting inside the diner. Makes a phone call. And he says, I think I see Frank Castle. And this is, and he pulls out a gun that he hangs up. I see Frank Castle, the Punisher. Oh, and he's got a gun he hangs up. And all of a sudden you see AVTF agents come running in, yelling and screaming with their guns up. It just seems so stupid and implausible. And that's really basically the first scene. It just starts off in a way that's kind of like, I mean, I get it, but you really think that these guys, like, they're just dumb if they're trained, they just don't. They run into a diner like pointing their guns at everybody. You really think that's their tactic? Okay, run in there and just. Not the way I would have done it, right? But anyway, you're kind of like already shaking your head, like, okay, is this the way it's going to be? Really? This is, But this is kind of where the writing is going. It's lumpy. It's basic. It cares less about how they get to the point as much as they care about just getting to the point. So the only point that they really wanted to make there was the guys run in, Bullseye basically kills them all. In a very kind of, it was a good Bullseye scene. But they don't care about having any depth in sort of how they get to the ending of a scene, as long as they get to the idea that they're trying to get to in the plot. They get there in such a simple, superficial way, but that's how it all starts out. And it's nothing that really makes you go, okay, you're just kind of like watching this thing. There's nothing that starts to absorb you. And that's basically through the whole episode. There's nothing dynamic about the plot. There's nothing that makes you think. There's nothing that makes you want to, that puts even Daredevil. It feels like Daredevil is taking that back seat, right? He's literally taken, he's starting to feel like the Witcher in The Witcher. That's what he's feeling like, right? Daredevil, and I said this last week, or Saturday or Tuesday. When did I say it? I think I said it. Daredevil is becoming a supporting character in his own TV show. That's what's going on. And the girls are owning it. They really are. On Tuesday, I did report that the next Captain America is Mrs. Captain America. Danielle Cage. And this is going to be part of Daredevil, and I think it's going to bleed into Secret Wars, and it may even bleed into Doctor Doom. We don't know, but apparently it will bleed into Secret Wars. So Danielle Cage is the daughter of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. And now she is born with some superpowers, so I guess unlike Sam Wilson, who had basically he was a flying guy, he was a regular guy with a flying jetpack. But Captain America will be a female. That's the next Captain America. We've gone from real Cap, like a Captain America, to Sam Wilson to Danielle Cage, my friends. Danielle Cage, welcome to Captain America. That might have. I don't. To Miss Captain America. Now, I'm not saying they can't make a good Miss Captain America. Look, they can make a kick-ass. They can make a kick-ass Miss Captain America. If you write her properly, it can work. But the problem always is with Disney, they write it in a way that is insufferable, right? It's insufferable. It is to the point where it turns you off so much that you just turn the TV. It's like Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was gender swapped. Captain Marvel wasn't uber super duper powerful as the Miss Captain Marvel was. Indestructible, basically, right? Power Girl, right? Power Girl is coming. Power Girl is basically as powerful as Superman, Supergirl. There's actually a little story. Power Girl, they're looking at casting. Do I have it up? I think we'll touch on it later on today. But Power Girl in the DC universe, they're looking to cast. They have 4 actresses set up for Power Girl, Power Woman, or Power Girl, one of the two. And so that is the Gunverse. So there's a couple of I think there's a couple in there that'll be pretty good casting choices. I think this is for Superman Man of Tomorrow. So we'll see. But we'll touch on that later on today. But if you're really hating the MCU, you're gonna hate it more with Miss Captain America. That's what's going on. The Defenders are coming back. I think the Defenders are coming back. I think it's going to be season 3 for Daredevil. I think they had one or two seasons. I don't know too many people that watch it. I didn't watch it. And then Iron Fist, he had like 1 season. But they are coming back, and I think in season 3, that's when we're going to see Miss Captain. Oh, did I mention she's a lesbian? Did I mention she's a lesbian? Yes. Miss Captain America is put a chick in it and make her gay. Eric Cartman, I mean, here, you know what? It's a classic line. Put a chick in it and make her gay. And that's exactly what they did with Captain America. Miss Captain America, to you, thank you very much. It really is amazing, right? They've got to put all this stuff in there. All we want is a good superhero TV show. We just want a good superhero movie. We got some. I still maintain 3 of my favorites, my favorite trilogy in the Marvel Universe, easily Captain America. Easily it's Captain America. I'm going to give that an applause. As a matter of fact, I watched it about 2 months ago. I could watch it again. Captain America. Captain America, the first one, The Winter Soldier, Civil War. I mean, I think those are 3. I think they're great. 3 great movies. Are they perfect? Hell no. There's nothing perfect. There's no perfect movie. But you know what? Can I close this? No. So yes. Miss Captain America. And so the word is, and I'll stick to this just for a little bit more, because I think it's a pretty big deal. I think it's being underreported out there. And that this was Marvel quietly said that the new Captain America is in Daredevil. If you look really close, and so when you look under the covers, who would become Captain America in Daredevil? It's Miss Danielle Cage, ladies and gentlemen, a gay multi-race lesbian. I mean, that is checking a lot of boxes, right? It's checking a lot of boxes. And again, guys, I'm not saying that a great female Captain America can't work. Look, the way Marvel writes their female superheroes is appalling. They're insufferable. They don't have to work for anything. Everything they do, they're good at. Even in Star Wars, right? Even in Star Wars, what's her name? Rey Skywalker, when she's on the Millennium Falcon, they're trying to get to light speed, I think they're trying to do. And then she pulls out this. What'd you do? I pulled out the compressor. I pulled out the compressor, and it's got some little box with like copper wires. Are you telling me in Star Wars they use copper wires? Copper wiring? Is that copper wiring? Like in Ironheart, you have a solder gun, right? You have a solder gun. You have 1950s technology. I remember when I was like 10 years old soldering stuff in late 1970s. Are you telling me you're building an Ironheart suit? You're building it. But anyway, that is the big. I think the big news, the big reveal, the big thing that is happening with Daredevil is Miss Captain America. So we'll see where it goes. But I think she's going to be in Secret Wars. We'll see. We'll see where she goes. But basically, you have an entire show. Episode 4 is just another decline in a lumpy, what has become it's like a Lego block. I always like to call it like a Lego block. These scenes are built with Lego blocks. They don't really flow. They just kind of like clumsily roll into each other. I mean, the whole idea. I mean, I was a kickboxer for 8 years, so I mean, watching Kingpin, that boxing match. Oh my God, really? But that is, of course, you've got these one of the crazy things, guys. At the end, you've got the AVTF guys that are supposed to be like, trained officers, but somehow Vanessa, they can't get a gun out soon enough to before they get killed by Bullseye. But somehow Vanessa does, gets a shot off somehow, and you see Kingpin block what Bullseye throws with the boxing belt, or the boxing championship belt. I was like, are you serious? You're using a boxing belt? I honestly, I'm like, are you kidding me? Bullseye's killing these trained police officers left, right, and center. But Kingpin can block one of his weapons. With his boxing belt. Pretty amazing. And Vanessa's got the speed to pull the gun out of the purse, aim, shoot, and get a shot off. None of the AVTF guys, right? None of the anti-vigilante task force guys. They're just like, they're like stormtroopers, right? They're just dumb cannon fodder. It's one of the most frustrating things. But anyway, she gets one at the temple. Looks like she's dead, right? So one of the girl bosses, guys. I mean, I don't want to celebrate death, but it's just it's a movie. Relax. Vanessa is done. For all intents and purposes, we think Vanessa's. One of the girl bosses is gone. Vanessa. One other thing. I gotta. Yeah. One of the things, what was it? Oh yeah, we got the 13-year-old. So the 13-year-old white tiger, right? We got the 13-year-old white tiger. She's doing something with, oh my God, guys, that one guy that's from from DC, the guy that's part of the he is just painful to watch. There's just goofy scene after goofy scene now. It's not like it has this. It's like, if you want to compare it to an interesting show, Penguin, right? So if you guys watched Penguin, which was a fantastic TV show, like they really nailed it. One scene kind of bled into the next. It kind of like led you along. It kind of like this. And this is what great screenwriting does. It keeps you interested, but it kind of keeps you guessing. What's going to happen next? What are our main characters going to do next? But everything that happens in Daredevil is so sudden. It's so, every little it was kind of like season 5 of Stranger Things. And you can just see them when they're writing the script of season 5 of Stranger Things. They were like, well, we need to rejig this scene, because if we go to the next scene like this, they're not going to know what's going on. They'd be like, okay, no, you know what we'll do? We'll start the next scene. We'll just explain everything. We'll explain everything, and we'll just have the characters explain it as they go along, which is literally the worst thing. It's exposition-laden screenwriting. And then based on what we saw with Stranger Things, the making of Stranger Things, like, okay, that is literally exactly what they did, right? Hack and slash Mickey Mouse garbage level screenwriting. And I don't want to say this is where Daredevil is going, unfortunately. Episode 4, there's not. I mean, there's nothing in episode 4 that's going to make you call your friend. Oh, you got to watch episode 4. You got to watch episode 4, season 2. And of course, I maintain that Vincent D'Onofrio is terrible. He's a terrible Kingpin. If you had some big ass Bam Bam Bigelow bald guy with a, temper of a Randy Macho Man Savage kind of thing, right? That's your Kingpin. Like Vincent D'Onofrio is like, it's like, sorry, man, sleepy. Is there anything else we need to say about Daredevil? kills others. Yeah, the sailor dude. They kill the sailor dude. The boxing fight. It's just a clumsy. And again, we don't see Matt Murdock. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. There's nothing. There's. You know what? It's hard to recommend this show. And if you're looking for some, if you need Marvel and you need superhero stuff to watch, I guess you can watch it. You pay your like $8 per month, and it's something to watch. But we'll see what happens in episode 5. There isn't much to talk about. It's a boring, lumpy Lego block, clumsily strewn together, and it's becoming worse as the season goes on. And you can kind of see the Disney agenda, not just creeping in. It is, it's flooding in. The whole idea of who makes the decisions, who's in a position of power. And like I say, even Daredevil now is starting to take a back seat. It's the closest thing that I make of this is basically it's going to be The Witcher, where The Witcher in his own TV show becomes his own supporting character. That's what's going on, guys. So I don't know. If anything comes up during the show, I'll bring it up. But that is really all that I want to say about Daredevil. Season 2, episode 4, my friends. The biggest revelation is Miss Captain America. That's the next Captain America. It's a gay, lesbian, multiracial female. Is that bad? I guess they could make it good, but it's just obviously they're trying to check a lot of boxes. It's a check. It's a cast the character by checkbox. By how many. The gatekeepers of Hollywood, and there are gatekeepers in Hollywood. You ask yourself, why does this happen? This doesn't happen because everybody that's associated with these TV shows and movies believes in this. This is at the gatekeeper level. If you want to be included in a number of different, whether it's publications, whether it's associations, whether it's award shows, whatever it is, you need to have certain checkboxes. It needs to happen. And without it, you can have one character that checks a lot of boxes. Miss Captain America is going to do that. Now, if they write her good, I'll eat crow. I will. I have no problem with it. So, but right now, Daredevil, Born Again, it's got an 8.1. I don't know if I get copyright struck with watching the IMDb, but I don't. It's yeah. What's interesting is Cherry Clark Johnson, because Cherry used to have a pretty. I was just thinking about this today, actually. Cherry used to have a pretty prominent role, right, as a police officer. I mean, they just sort of tucked him away. Like he's just been. He's a male character that obviously needs to get tucked away, because what we're left with is just a lot of decision-making female character, and that's the way Disney likes it. If you like your Marvel shows with a lot of girl bosses, although one just got killed, then you're going to be liking Daredevil, because that's the way it's going, and it's with Miss Captain America. It's going there on an accelerated basis. So Daredevil, we'll see what happens next week with episode 5. I'm not holding my breath. We'll watch it. We'll cover it. We'll cover it. Let's see. What do we want? Oh, you know what? Something. I was gonna cover it today. I'm gonna cover it next week. I was gonna get to a little thing dealing with some of Daredevil's powers. What kind of powers does he have? I think there's there seems to be a lot of confusion exactly. Well, at least from Marvel, what Marvel says his powers are. We're gonna do that on maybe on Saturday, and because what I want to get to. I want to get to the Punisher. Because the Punisher, One Last Kill trailer came out. Jon Bernthal returns in Loose Welcome Back, Frank adaptation. It looks pretty raunchy, but the trailer hit today. Was it today? It was today. It was today. It looks pretty. Here it is. I think it looks pretty good. The Punisher, One Last Kill trailer. Jon Bernthal returns in Loose Welcome Back. Is that the title? Welcome Back. There's a couple of promo pictures. Today, Marvel released a trailer for the upcoming Disney Plus special presentation, The Punisher: One Last Kill. Jon Bernthal returns as Frank Castle, seemingly in hiding following his escape from Mayor Wilson's Fisk secret prison. That was at the end of season 1. Look, the biggest highlight of season 1 of Daredevil Born Again was easily The Punisher. Jon Bernthal kicks, he nails it. His intensity is off the charts, and that's what the Kingpin should be. That's what we should be getting from the Kingpin. But trouble finds Frank, as it always does, and the Punisher emerges once again. Written by Bernthal. I think he directs it too, and Ronaldo Marcus, the latter of whom also directs The Punisher. One Last Kill arrives on Disney on May 12th, or maybe he's the executive producer, Jon Bernthal. And you can see the trailer below. So we're going to watch the trailer here. Now, if you're watching at home in the replay, guys, and we go from this point to a next point without the trailer, that means it was copyright, hit by the copyright. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Hey, Frank. How you doing, brother? Talk to me. Tell me what's going on.
Right, so Jon Bernthal was a writer in this. Obviously, he's playing the Punisher. He's also the executive producer. This is a 60-minute streaming 1-hour show on May 12th, 2026. Usually when they do these things, there's a reason for them to do this. It's connecting to something else. There's a reason for them to want to put this out there and sort of have it sort of sidestep into the next whatever, is it Doomsday? Which is what, December 18th, right? I think it's December 18th, but...
Think God's gonna forgive us for the things we've done? I'm not sure about me. But you?
And that was the one thing about this trailer is it doesn't really show you much. It's almost like this psychological introspection of the Punisher. It's kind of like what you've seen so far. It's kind of disappointing. Right, you're not really getting there's not much action, but you're getting this like the Punisher's like he's seeing things, he's reassessing his life. Obviously, someone's after him, right?
You ain't got a fucking chance.
The one thing you definitely feel with this is they build it up. It's actually it's not a bad trailer in the sense that it takes you on a fairly mundane level place and it accelerates you. But the one thing with it, and the one thing I wish the Punisher did have, this whole idea of street level superhero. Like if that it basically says that every MMA fighter is basically a superhero, right? It as someone who was a kickboxer for 8 years, I really want to see some of these guys have something, some sort of an accident, something that gives them a little bit more of an edge above a normal human being. Now, with the Punisher, it's his attitude, it's his intensity, and whatnot. John Bernthal freaking nails it. John Bernthal nails it. He is a kick-ass Punisher. This is a pretty deep. This is almost like I would equate this to like a Logan, like the movie Logan, like a deep sort of introspection of this character's mind to some degree. It looks like this is what this is. There we go. There you go. Disney, May 12th, my friends. May 12th. That is The Punisher. One last kill. It's 60-minute streaming TV show, movie, a short movie. Not even sure what you would call it. A vignette. What would you call it? One thing is for sure. You cannot argue John Bernthal's intensity in playing this character. It is one of the best cast characters, I think, in Marvel, period. And it's best cast because of John Bernthal's acting style towards the character. He nails it. He knows this character. And he could pull out the raw intensity of what makes the Punisher. But I do wish, one of the things, it's one of these things that you can't have Olympic level intensity or Olympic level strength. Look, these guys that work at the Olympic level, they train every single. So you're not going to have Olympic level strength. You're like you're an MMA fighter, right? So if you're going to be the best fighter in the world, you're the heavyweight champion of MMA. It doesn't sit well with me. It just seems to me that, and it may be because I was also a kickboxer for 8 years, so I don't see much super in these guys. Except when the actor comes and superfies it kind of thing. But I really wish that these, even the street level guys, even Daredevil, right? He's got Stan Lee, guys. Stan Lee even said himself, get this. And you could check this out too. Stan Lee himself said that Daredevil's senses are even stronger than Spider-Man's. That is insane because, my spidey senses are tingling, which is, a huge part to Spider-Man. Stan Lee said that Daredevil's senses are even more acute than Spider-Man. I mean, that's basically you're not going to get a shot away. Like, remember how he killed White Tiger in the first season? He's running up the stairs, and the guy just steps out. Boom. Really? That's how you're going to kill a superhero? That was weak. That's like, this is some of the weak, that's some of the weak storytelling in Daredevil. They don't care how they get there. They need White Tiger to be dead. Okay, well, we'll just make a guy shoot him and know he's right. Oh, okay, well, wait, doesn't someone stand up and say, is it he a superhero? Is it he yeah, we just need him to be dead, though. Okay, well, okay, well. Sport coat lurking. He just made his "I'm being chased by zombies" face in the beginning there. Oh, I'm glad they didn't take the skull off his chest. And yes, he is probably one of the best Punisher castings ever. I think one of the best Marvel castings. Period. I mean, the guy kicks ass. Like. The biggest highlight in season 1 of Born Again is the last anywhere where the Punisher shows up. Anywhere where he shows up is a highlight. That's what I think. Let me finish that off for you. But it's still Disney, and I'm skeptical. Yes. But in this case, John Bernthal wrote it, and he executive produced it. So it could be, and it's only 60 minutes, right? I hear what you're saying, Sportcoat. I hear what you're saying, my friend. Spider Sense is vague. Daredevil has sonic mapping on his. Well, it is said, but that is basically, and that's verbatim, right? That's what Stan Lee said. That Daredevil's senses to sense the danger of the world around him is more acute even than that of Spider-Man's. So, Daredevil doesn't have Spider-Man's strength, his speed, his agility, his punishment power. But you're right. No, if it's Disney, you take it with a grain of salt. And that might be taking it with a little bit too much as well. You're not gonna get much argument from me. Anything Disney, look, they're butchering the Daredevil. This thing is going to Miss Captain America, a gay, lesbian, multiracial. Like they just want to check boxes. They just want to check boxes. They don't even care about character development. They don't care where the characters go. They just want to check boxes. But that is the Punisher. What else? Let me see if there's anything else in this article that's this is a Geeks and Gamers article. Let me put this back up. So yeah, we start here. The comic story, welcome back. Frank has been teased as the basis for the Punisher: One Last Kill, and the trailer includes elements from it. Frank is now living in an apartment building and seems to be taking an interest in his neighbors, which is a big part of the story in the comics. So again, I'm not a comic book guy, but obviously they're saying that this is coming from. Maybe he's taking one of the comics and turning it into a 1-hour episode. There also seems to be distance between Frank and the neighbors until they get into trouble, and he decides to save them again, like the comics. And Magnucci, the villain of Welcome Back, Frank, has been rumored to appear in One Last Kill. A quick clip of the trailer looks like it might be a younger version of her, likely in a flashback. John Bernthal's got the big old beard. However, these aspects of Welcome Back, Frank appears to have been altered for the Punisher: One Last Kill, and the trailer suggests it will be a loose adaptation that tells a different Punisher story. First off, they're rehashing the Frank doesn't want to be the Punisher anymore plot from both seasons of his Netflix solo series, replete with what happened there? With the standard Hollywood, that's not my life anymore. Beard, yeah, it's kind of cliched, right? It's kind of cliched. John Bernthal was the writer, executive producer, and of course the actor. Obviously, it is a well-trodden theme. Now, it doesn't mean if you're going to do a well-trodden theme, you just have to do it differently. You have to act it out differently. You got to the events that. Oh, it's the advertising that's pushing it around. I gotcha. Big problem with Geeks and Gamers website. That's not my life anymore. Beard. Extrapolating a bit, it looks like Frank has given up on being the Punisher, but a ghost from his past returns to force him back into action, and in the form of Magnucci. It is a little bit of a tired theme, right? I don't want to be the superhero, and it's almost like every superhero's got to go through it. I don't want to be the Punisher anymore. I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore. I want to be normal. It's a fairly there's a lot of ways as a screenwriter, there's a lot of ways you can take that. And Welcome Back, Frank, the main reason Magnucci hates the Punisher so much is that Frank wiped out her sons, who were members of her mafia family. The clip of her in the trailer shows a younger version of her, seemingly horrified with blood splashed on her. This would appear to be her witnessing the Punisher wasting her sons. The comics had this happen as part of the Punisher's mission to wipe out the Nucci family, followed by Nucci escalating the conflict out of revenge. That's the quick little snippet that we get from the scene. Perhaps in one last kill, Nucci resurfaces sometime after Frank eliminated her sons, finding Frank while he's still in hiding and targeting him, forcing the Punisher to return. Since he's trying to retire again, she can serve as the face of inevitability. The reminder that Frank will never be able to leave the Punisher behind, particularly if his new neighbors get caught in the crossfire. Another important part of Welcome Back Frank's plot. So basically, he's a guy like this anti-hero guy, but he cares about, at the end of the day, he cares about people. He's forced to care about people. He's forced to care about his neighbors, and that's kind of like where this plot's obviously heading to. Frank will have to be restored as the Punisher by the end so that he can show up in oh yeah, that's right, he is in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So it's leading into Spider-Man Brand New Day. So this is the 60 minutes that sets up his character, and obviously a lot of the plot that's going to be in Spider-Man. I don't know why I didn't connect that right away, but maybe the tragic irony is that Nucci brings back the force she wants to destroy. The Punisher One Last Kill looks like it will feature other plot points besides Nucci, based on the trailer, such as civil unrest. Presumably, this will tie into the Daredevil Born Again story, which has New York City dealing with Mayor Fisk's anti-vigilante task force. I know a lot of people say that's ICE. There are some parallels. This is what Disney loves to do. Disney loves to be hated by many and loved by a few. Hated by the important people, by the way, like fans and stuff, right? True diehard fans. That's Disney's, that's their MO. According to Born Again, Fisk has actually reduced crime in New York considerably, which is one of the reasons he's so popular with the public. Assuming Fisk's mayoral reign comes to an end this season, are riots and looting going to occur as a result of law and order? And will the Punisher have to fill the void left by the police for people from getting hurt? Will Nucci use the riots as cover for her revenge? And of course, there you see the classic Punisher symbol. All questions will be answered, my friends, on May 12th. So if you want to watch it, it will be on May 12th. Yes, you have to have a Disney. You have to have a Disney subscription. I didn't know that Bernhard, yeah, he's very involved with the production. When I actually was watching the trailer, I was like, written by and then executive produced by. So he's controlling this thing, right? He's script wise. Obviously, you got to get the nod from Disney. Probably Kevin Feige, right? Kevin probably gets the ultimate say. The guy that ruined Marvel, who's trying to fix it. Yeah, but with Frank Castle, it's not so much I don't want to be a superhero, but rather I don't want to kill anyone. Right. Yeah. I think you nailed it right there, right? Which is just well used, but has room for more complexity. I don't even think he sees himself as a superhero because he's just a guy, right? He's a guy with intensity, skills. And again, I always wish these guys had something that made them a little special. But that's okay, right? I mean, the way that John Bernthal plays it is incredibly compelling. Incredibly compelling. It will be on stream for you the next day. There you go. So anyway, that May 12th, guys. So if you want to watch The Punisher, And that's going to be leading into the new Spider-Man movie. Looks like both of them have second thoughts. Leave me alone. I don't want, why am I? Forget about it. A little bit of a tired theme, but that's okay. That's okay. Speaking of Spider-Man, Tom Holland. Tom Holland has seen the Odyssey. He has seen it. He's watched it. I guess Christopher Nolan gave him a sneak peek. I don't think Christopher Nolan does any focus groups or anything like that. He just makes the movie he wants to make, and that's a great thing about Christopher Nolan. Not a big Batman Christopher Nolan fan, but I am a big Christopher Nolan. His writing style, his skills, and his ability to take those and turn them into visual. Sorry, I just got to do a little bit of cleanup here. There we go. Let's clean up. Yeah, we're gonna take that down. We finished the Punisher, so we're gonna take the Punisher down. We're gonna talk. So Tom Holland. So look, there's not much going on out there, but I saw this article and I thought it was really interesting. Tom Holland calls Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey an absolute masterpiece. He was blown away. Let's get into this article. I think there's something. It's interesting. Now he's in the movie, so he is by default he is forced to say nice things. There we go. Is that going to work there? Yeah, it's going to work good. Okay, perfect. Let me get rid of that advertising. Ryan Gosling. So guys, Tom Holland calls Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey an absolute masterpiece. Blown away. I am blown away. I love Nolan, but Tom Holland married resting bitch face. So his opinion is meh. I am less. I know people. I know with Zendaya. I know there's a lot of people that. I have less apathy towards her than obviously you do. Love her or hate her, I guess, kind of thing, right? I don't love her. She doesn't do anything that overly, being in Hollywood for 20 years. Screenwriting in front, all the cameras, everything like that. So the things that I see or things that I feel, and it's all opinion, right? When it comes to opinion, you're not. I guess the way I would put it, if she was so bad, she wouldn't be cast in so many roles. There is something about her that has her fan base, or the way she projects her characters that she portrays as a positive. I don't mind her in Dune. Never mind. And Dune is probably one of my favorites. It could be my favorite trilogy. If Denis Villeneuve nails Dune 3, and that's on Dune's Day, December 18th, guys, it could become my favorite trilogy beyond that of Lord of the Rings. So, but I get where I know the apathy. I know the discontent with Zendaya. I get it. I understand it. I love Dune, like mega fan love. Yes. And Chani in the books was a magical character to me. She was not my Chani, and she ruined what would have been two amazing films for me. Now, but understand though, she doesn't create the character. She has very little to actually do with who this character is, right? So when Denis Villeneuve writes the script, and I know this just from screenwriting and being the involved in, the actor has very little to do, especially when it comes to dialogue, the ultimate how this character goes through and what they're going to do, what their arc is. They do obviously get a lot of projecting that character sometimes they get more leeway than whatnot. So, and the director directs the actor, right? That is the number one thing the director does. During that scene, he watches, I guess he or she, how the actors are, what does the director want from the scene? And if he's not getting what he wants, he's going to ask for retakes, right? So it's not really, it's I would say what Zendaya is delivering is 20% her, 80% script and director. It's not, it's not going to be her. She doesn't get to decide who Chani is. Denis Villeneuve does. 100%. Denis Villeneuve decides 100%. I like it or I don't like it. Retake it. I don't want you that way. I want you this. This is what I want from you in this scene. This is how I want to end this scene. This is the emotional state of this character in this scene. So I think you can sometimes take too much. Right. Antipath. Yeah. She has one expression, literally one. Chani was a complex character. I mean, I get where. I know the arguments for her. I thought. Look, if you look, Stilgard. I mean, he was basically one. He didn't have that much emotional range. I don't mind Chani. I don't mind Zendaya's Chani. Is there a better person that could have played it? Yeah. I don't know who that person is going to be. I haven't thought about it. It's not that big on my mind. But ultimately, well, I have a gripe with Denis too, but I'm not going to send either of them hate mail. Well, yeah. But Stilgar was one note in the books, right? But he is a big thing in the movies, right? Stilgar. And that's the thing about screenwriting. When you're adapting a book, it is one of the hardest, like adapting Dune, and this is where I gotta hand it to Denis Villeneuve and his team, adapting that book. And I think you really know a lot about this franchise, Sport Coat. This is really, there are more ways to screw this Dune up. There's so many more ways to screw Dune up, infinite ways to screw this franchise up. And probably very few that you could kind of get to, especially diehard fans, where diehard fans go, you know what, that wasn't bad. Was it perfect? It wasn't perfect. It wasn't bad. And I love what they're bringing into the third, the elements that they're actually incorporating into the Dune 3. Doomsday is December 18th. I love it that Doomsday is getting no IMAX, 3 weeks. Dune has 3 weeks of IMAX. Doomsday got 0, which I think I don't know. I don't want to say I don't you hate or dislike. I have such a aversion to everything that Marvel has been doing to storytelling, to characters, to forcing certain themes, breaking characters to force themes upon the fan base. I know you guys think the character is this. We're gonna change. There's gonna be a gay, lesbian, female now. Okay, so just be happy. It's this is a gay, lesbian, female. I hope you like it. But Sport Coat, there's a lot of people that think the same way and feel the same way, for sure. It's he did one of the worst. Denis, he separated Paul and Chani at the end of part 2. That destroys so much. I get why he did it though. As a screenwriter, what do you want to leave? Do you want to leave? There comes a point in time. Movies are not books, and books are not movies. TV shows are not movies. They're all different. So as a screenwriter, I've written TV shows and I've also written movies. At the end of it, you've got to create, you can't, if you just leave it happy-go-lucky, I thought it was a great way to make people go, what's this about? It leaves that question going forward. I would have done it the same way. The very idea that at the end of it, they kind of sit happy together, laughing and smiling, and oh, it looks like we're gonna have a galactic war. Isn't enough. You need tension and stakes at especially going into the next one. So I get where Denis Villeneuve was going. As a screenwriter, I would have done nothing different, and that's the difference in terms of how you look at it from a screenwriting perspective. But I will take the pivot. You are right. Disney Marvel is so worse. Yes. Right. They are. He could have introduced Paul's vision of Chani dying earlier to taint the victory. I thought and there's a few things that I thought he could have done to make the story tighter. And a lot of the times, you could probably think that they could have filmed like an extra hour worth of stuff that never made it into the movie. And it got cut because they needed a shorter movie runtime. And it becomes a very difficult decision in terms of what stays in, because the studio, Denis Villeneuve doesn't strike me as a Christopher Nolan who gets final cut. At best, I would say Denis Villeneuve gets final cut with the studio. At best, Denis Villeneuve has to agree and the studio has to agree on final cut. I would think that the studio is calling the shots and they get final cut. So, hey, Pamela, how you doing, girl? Hope you're having a great night. Thursday night, Pamela. Tomorrow's Friday. Friday. Cheers. I hope you, regardless of where you are in this world, I hope you're having a good evening. Yes, our greatest movie franchises have been utterly destroyed. I was actually out for chicken wings last night. A couple of Corona and a couple of baskets of chicken wings. And there's a couple of people at the table who are friends, and they're fairly well astute. We had a little bit of a chit chat about Superman 2026, which I think is one of the most pathetic movies, especially to start a universe. But we had some interesting conversations, a lot of TV shows. But I think, from where I sit, opinion is exactly opinion. Look, you can't argue whether green's a better color or blue's a better color or red. We're all going to have our own opinions. And from how we sit. Now, someone might say something and say, you know what? I never thought of it that way. Especially if someone comes at it from an analytical perspective or from a story perspective, whatever the perspective is, right? But anyway, we basically spend about 85% of our time talking about movies, TV shows, and things like that, which is always fun, right? And it always ends in a laugh. And I think that's always the fun of it. You have chicken wings and beer. You're talking about movies. We talked about Supergirl. We talked about even some older stuff like Deadwood. We were talking about. Anyway, it's fun conversation at the end of the day, right? No, I meant as an ending hook for the next movie. Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, yeah, that's an idea. How ultimately, how you and I would probably guarantee, I would assume, I don't know, guarantee is a tough word, assume that would have been in a writer's discussion. Like, how do we handle this? How do we want to go with this? During the writing process, so many of these things would come up and enter us, especially with the like we were talking about Dune yesterday, right? And of course the third book where it's very political, but you got to extrapolate those things that create tension, stakes, and all these things with the characters. So you're not wrong. I mean, Sportco, you're not wrong. From a screenwriting perspective, you could take these elements and you can work it in, and it could become better. It could become worse. Maybe they filmed it and they edited it out. But let's get to this. So Tom Holland has watched right off the bat, has watched Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey and has some epic praise for the upcoming mythic adventure film. Now, granted, he has to say it. He's in the movie. He's contractually obligated. Now, obviously, you're not going to watch a Christopher Nolan film, even if it's not totally finished. You're not going to watch it and go, okay, shit, that kind of sucked. You know, that wasn't as good as I thought it was going to. You're not going to say that. You're not going to say it. The question you ask yourself is what Tom Holland is trying to say about the Odyssey. Is it true? Is it genuine? Is it genuine? Speaking to GQ, the actor said, I can tell you that it is an absolute masterpiece, and I'm taking myself out of that equation. Holland added, the fantastic film was full of stunning practical effects. And of course, that is what Christopher Nolan is known for. He will only use CGI. I don't think he'll use AI. But everything is practical effects, right? He wants to create that effect through the camera. It's not like anything that I've seen before, Holland said. I think when I saw the movie, I found myself, I found myself asking the question that I haven't asked about a movie for a long time, which is, how did you do that? I like the sound. Oh, there's some Zendaya stuff going on. Got some Zendaya. Zendaya shares how she knew Tom Holland was her person. And I have said this. It's one thing about Zendaya that I will say. Tom Holland, if Zendaya was a truly plastic person or a person with, Tom Holland is not exactly tall, dark, and handsome. He's not the star quarterback of the football team. He's funny. He's a small guy that is probably amazing to have beers and chicken wings with. And I think it shows a little bit about her personality, that she, you know how women can be in this world, right? They're looking like whether you look at them on all the on the shows, on the dating apps and everything. Everyone's looking for someone. Look, I think what is it, like 8% of the world is 6'2" and higher, but yet 68% of the women are looking for someone who is 6'2" or taller. Like, really, you guys are fucking, what the fuck? Do you think maybe you need to address some of your inadequacies before you start? Here's what I need for someone. So I think Zendaya. Anyway, continued Holland. This is not about Zendaya. This is about Tom Holland and the Odyssey. So Tom Holland has watched the Odyssey. He's watched it. There were certain sequences in the movie where I'm watching it and I'm just sort of thinking, like, how on earth has he done that? And it's interesting as the actor, right? Because if you're in the scene as the actor, you're thinking, I was in that. I filmed it. And here's the thing. When you're on the other side of the camera, you're looking at the director and everything. You're going, this looks kind of gay. How are you going to turn this into something awesome? I don't get it. But the actor goes, okay, you know what? I'm just here to act. I'm just here to do my part. Let the director and all the magic happen behind. And I get it. I've seen it in my years in Hollywood. And it is freaking amazing what some people can do. There were sequences in the movie where I'm watching and I just sort of think, how on earth did he do that? This has to be a CG. And then after watching the movie, I asked Nolan, excuse me, that was definitely CG, right? And he's like, no. That's all in the camera effects. Very planned. And this is the big thing. Again, the big Nolan thing. He wants it within the frame of the camera. And is one of the great things that makes Christopher Nolan who he is. As much as I dislike the Batman franchise, I will never take anything away from Christopher Nolan from being one of the premier best, perhaps the best directors ever. Because he recreates these things in the frame of the camera, guys. In the frame of the camera. And it's freaking amazing. Just like Tom Holland is saying here. He's an actor in the scene. How did you do? How did that? Let's move on. Very planned, very prepared. So I think fans are going to be really, really blown away by the set pieces and sequences throughout the movie, because even as someone that was there on the day and was in the film, I was absolutely blown away by the scale. And when you're in the camera shot, you don't know sort of how the director and the cinematographer is framing everything, right? So the director will ask, so they'll need multiple shots. They'll need front shots, back shots, side shots, and different level, and so they may film a scene. This is what baffles me with Clint Eastwood with one take. You need to take multiple takes to get various distances, close-ups, distances, back, different angles on most scenes. Sure, you might have two cameras going, but the one camera can't be in the way of the other camera, right? You can't have one camera directly opposed to the other one. So when it comes to filming this stuff, a lot of the times the actor and the people do not know what the, let's say the cinematographer, the director, the set people, and probably, is there some CGI? Of course there is. They're cleaning up the scene. They're fixing the scene. They might be double, triple, rolling the scene together to create certain effects based on multiplying the visual effect. But even the actors are like, they're dumb thud to the magic that a lot of these people create behind the scenes. And this is what I think makes this so interesting. So even guys like Tom Holland who are in the scene. So I think fans are really going to be literally blown away by the set pieces and the sequences throughout the movie, because even as someone that was on there the day and was in the film, I was absolutely blown away by the scale, the scope, his ability to navigate such an intricate and heartfelt story in the middle of this insane kind of action movie. So it's one of my most proudest achievements as an actor, and I'm so touched that Chris gave me the opportunity to be in the film. And Tom Holland's a genuine guy. He is. Tom Holland's a genuine guy. I like Tom Holland. It's one of the big reasons the Spider-Man movies do so well. And I think Tom Holland and The Punisher, I think that's a great mix. Tom Holland and John Bernthal, because Tom Holland's that kind of funny, geeky kind of like, and John Bernthal as the Punisher is such a kick-ass, right? I think it's going to be freaking awesome to see these two guys together on screen. Holland also talked about his upcoming Sony Marvel sequel, Spider-Man Brand New Day. Interestingly enough, so on May 12th, the Punisher 1 hour TV show, it's not a movie, it's an hour movie is like, that's an oxymoron. But basically, the Punisher, Frank Castle, is having second thoughts about who he is. It's a very prominent theme. And basically that is what Spider-Man Brand New Day is about. It's about Spider-Man being, at the end he asked Doctor Strange to basically make everyone forget who he is. I think this is going to be an absolute standout for a Marvel movie. There's still an author. Maybe it's because Sony is involved. I don't know if you agree, Sportcoat, because Sony is involved, and it doesn't get that Marvel Disney taint. Can I say taint without getting in trouble? Taint. It tain't so, is it? It tain't so. It's a taint. It's a freaking taint. Tom Holland and Zendaya are perfect for each other. They both eternally look like teenagers. Yes. Dislike Batman? Yes, I did not. So I think the thing that made, I think in the third Batman, it's one of the, it is a terrible freaking movie. I could go into detail scene by scene. Whether it's 20,000 police officers being trapped underground. Really? That's your freaking plot point? And then they come up from 2 months being underground. None of them has a fucking beard. No one's got a frickin' beard. Nobody. It is just slop. And then might I say, it's mostly the third one that really gets to me. You see Batman, right? And it's basically just a boxing match, right? Being a boxer and a kickboxer, it's like you could have done a little bit more. You could have done, look, Ben Affleck, when he goes to save Martha, Superman's mother. That scene of Batman fighting when he gets put into the second floor, he goes into the third floor. That is the most iconic Batman fight scene. And that's what Snyder knows how to do. If you watch the Watchmen, when the comedian gets his ass kicked, we don't know by who, right? I mean, The Watchmen. If you guys want to watch a good movie, watch The Watchmen. Not the TV episode, not the TV, The Watchmen movie. It's a great scene. The comedian gets his ass kicked. And obviously he is done with. But in the third, so Batman just beats the crap out of Bane, right? Bane, kick-ass Bane, Batman. And then the little girl with a butter knife stabs Batman into the side. A bat suit that can repel bullets. But that's okay because she had a butter knife. She was holding a butter knife. And he's like, all of a sudden, he's like, what are you doing? And she pulls out this little fucking butter knife. Drop the fact that it's Christopher Nolan. This is some of the most shittiest screenwriting I've ever seen in a movie. Not just a Batman movie. You could tell he wanted out. He did not want this. I can go much deeper, but those are some of the highlights. That is one of the biggest highlights. Batman just kicks the crap out of Bane. And little girl with a fucking butter knife stabs him through the bat suit. You like that? You like that? Hey, you like that, Batman? I could go now, Sportco, I could go deeper. The second movie was the highlight. The first one, you know what? Palatable. It's the third one that I'm most vicious about. It is shit. The third movie is shit. Please remember that Sony recently gave... I know, right? Do you think... You think I didn't watch? Yeah, shit. I know. Fuck. But I think what I'm saying, Evander, is there's a tempering. Madame Web, you guys, that was the worst Spider-Man. Oh my God. That was the worst. Enough said about Madame Web. What I'm saying is whatever it is, maybe Sony and the way they maybe come together because it's like shared rights, that they come together and something good comes, because it's kind of like negative and positive, right? You have negative and positive matter, antimatter. It comes together and extinguishes itself. And you're left with just the meat and potatoes. And those meat and potatoes actually turns out to be a pretty good movie. It's the only reason, Vivander, that I would say, why do Spider-Man movies actually turn out not too bad? The only real distinguishing difference is because Sony is involved and Marvel's involved. So maybe the proton, anti-proton thing, they come together, they collide, they extinguish themselves, and you're left with what might be an okay movie. I'm going to say Tom Holland also has something to do with it. I think Tom Holland is a great Superman. I don't like Andrew Garfield. I think those two movies were so terrible. I didn't mind Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, but the writing in those two Spider-Man movies were freaking abhorrent. Abhorrent. Let me. Please. There we go. Okay, there we go. So yeah, that's basically the end of the that article. I think there's nothing else, right? That's basically it. Tom Holland is saying, I've watched the movie. I like the movie, even though I'm in the movie, and I'm by contract, I have to say positive things about it. I have to. he's seen the movie and he's saying it's, and I kind of believe him. It doesn't surprise me that someone of Christopher Nolan. Now, the big thing is Helen of Troy, which is going to be Lupita, right? Is that? I wonder if they changed the IMDb. Let me check the IMDb. Let me check this. Odyssey. Let's take a look. Let's take a look, my friends. I'll show you. I'll punch it up. Let's discover this together. I can't share it like that, can I? I'll remove that. Stop screen, add screen, share screen. The Odyssey, IMDb. We'll go to that page. Add to stage. We'll buy some dresses. See, this is like you see on the left here. There's no great image that you can. They have the worst image posters. You got the picture of the back of the head of Matt Damon. That's your movie poster. Okay, look. Christopher Nolan has done better in the movies than I have, so I'm not. Let's make lemonade. Matt Damon, Tom Holland is Telemachus. Robert Pattinson, Antonius. Penelope, Lupita. Again, they don't fill it in. They haven't filled it in yet, guys. Lupita Nyong'o. But it's a good casting, Christopher Nolan trusts in his actors, so you got to think Christopher Nolan trusted it. Look, Bane. What's his name? Playing Bane was freaking genius, and he's also Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy he's also taken something. He's a master at one of the what is he a master of? One of the arts. He's a good fighter. Tom Holland, Spider-Man, of course. Anne Hathaway. I love Anne Hathaway. I do. I love Anne Hathaway. Robert Pattinson. Batman 2 is coming out. Lupita, we don't know. Helen of Troy. This is a lot of angst. This is some serious race swapping. I don't know if there's any black people in Greece. Zendaya, sport coat lurking. I know, dude. I got you. I hear you. Athena, the goddess of Athena was the goddess of wisdom and war, right? Charlize Theron. Agamemnon is Benny Safdie? Really? All right, well. John Bernthal, Melanos, Logan Marshall Green, Mia Goth. Okay, guys. I am not a big fan of John Leguizamo. I'm not. I don't like the guy. I don't like what he says. He's a fucking baby. He's a freaking fucking baby, John Leguizamo. I wouldn't cast him for I wouldn't. Don't like the guy. Don't like what he says. He's a freaking baby. Himesh Patel. Shit. Elliot Page. All right, guys. Let me okay. Maybe all the casting is not as good as you want it to be, but it's good casting, right? Here's some of the images that are out there. A lot of the costumes have been berated as being I agree and I disagree. There's Tom Holland and Anne Hathaway. Is that that's the horse? I think Matt Damon might be better in this than we might think. I think Matt Damon might be a surprise. There's Athena, Zendaya. I know Sport Coat Lurking is not a big fan. Not a big fan of the Zendaya. Those are some pretty big set pieces to get right, because once you burn something and it falls over, it's a lot to try and get a second take, right? Robert Pattinson, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland. So anyway, we'll see. Matt Damon, of course, he's it almost is like this is going to be a pretty big long movie. I would think it's gonna be a 2.5 hour movie at least, because this is a long. I mean, you almost think this should be 2 movies. You could almost think it would be like 3 Netflix streaming movies. The Dark Knight Rises is a bad movie, of course. Fuck, it is, right, bro? Dude, it is so bad. And I also say that the second movie, no, the what was the second? I don't know. I forgot the names. The second one with Heath Ledger. Take Heath Ledger out, and you lose a lot of the zeitgeist that's associated, the positives, like, you know, that's associated with that movie. Like, you really do. You really do. I think I maintain, from my perspective, the Christopher Nolan Batman movies are overrated. So overrated. I don't really enjoy them. I have no desire to watch them again. I will watch the Snyderverse stuff before I'll watch Christopher Nolan Batman. And that's just me. It's opinion, right? Worst. Vander, I think yes. Worst fight scene of all time: Batman hitting Superman over the head with a sink. Yes. But that was when he was weakened with kryptonite, right? He was weakened with kryptonite, and he was just getting his power back. But it is one for the ages. Daughter of Ra's al Ghul finds weak spot possible. I'm so I know Raz. I'm not as familiar with Ra's al Ghul. That was played by, what's his name, right? Was that Liam Neeson? That was Liam Neeson, right? That's why I had to double check on that. Like, a lot of the names escape me, especially with movies that you're not too big on. That was the Liam Neeson character, right? Oh, the daughter. Sorry, the daughter. Yes. I you know, it's been so long since I watched the movie. Yes. Is Tom Holland's Spider-Man trilogy the best trilogy after Captain America? I like Captain America better. I like Captain America better than the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy. I don't mind the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy. I don't. I think that's actually pretty good. A solid number 2 in my book. I do think the Captain America trilogy is, especially with time makes the Captain America movies look even better. And granted, a Civil War is kind of like an Avengers movie, right? It's kind of like Avengers. But it's a great... I like the fact that Bucky and Cap were together against Captain America, or against Iron Man, which I think was laid a little bit of humble pie for Iron Man. I think that was a well-constructed scene. The fact that Iron Man could kind of take them both on at once, but it was the absolute anger and rage when you combine everything with Captain America. Now we've got a female Captain America coming, right? We've got a gay, lesbian, multiracial Captain America on our way. So this will not be the Captain America, the Steve Rogers that we remember. We've got Danielle Cage. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Danielle Cage coming as our Captain America, Miss Captain America. Danielle Cage. The daughter of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. But the Odyssey, when is the Odyssey? I forgot the release date. When is the Odyssey being released? July 17th. And that is in the mid. That could be That's the weekend that Deadpool and Wolverine was released. That was the weekend that Oppenheimer, right? That was Barbenheimer. That was the Barbenheimer weekend. I remember that weekend so well. I was in Los Angeles. I lived downtown, so I went to the right by where the Lakers play in the Civic Center. There's a huge. I had that $21.99 per month. You can watch as many movies as you want. It's the best deal. So I literally watched 10, 15 movies a month. It was a scooter ride. So in downtown Los Angeles, you had the scooters, right? The Uber scooters. And so where my office and warehouse was, where I had my business and my studio and everything, I would take my scooter and they have morning shows, like seriously, 9 a.m. morning shows. You want to see a 9 a.m. movie on Saturday or Sunday? I love that about Los Angeles, right? There's always something going on at almost any time. I love that. That's one thing I do miss about Los Angeles is being so close to the Civic Center. The theaters there. Had my $22 per month pass. I would watch. You go watch movies again, right? I would be bored in the afternoon. I remember like when Deadpool and Wolverine was out. I remember it's like a Sunday afternoon. I watched the movie, I think the Saturday before. I said, I'm going to go watch it again. I did. It's good stuff. There's parts of Los Angeles that I miss. After 20 years in Los Angeles. Is there stuff that I miss? Of course there are. Obviously, a lot of good friends. I am looking at opening a YouTube studio in Los Angeles. I have a friend that has a beautiful house in Hesperia. Huge backyard. So we're looking at opening up. I'm looking at opening up because I can be there based on my U.S. social. I can be there 6 months of the year. I can be in Canada 6 months of the year. So I'm looking at opening up a YouTube studio similar to this in Los Angeles, so I can kind of go back and forth between Canada and Los Angeles. Because I have I'm a U.S. guy. I'm a Canadian guy. I swing both ways. I'm a they them, I guess, right? Am I a they them when it comes to? Oh, we got Captain America. The Spider-Man trilogy is not full of gold. Vander asks, and it's an interesting question. It is an interesting question. Sportcoat, I agree with you, Sportcoat. Captain America wins by a landslide. Okay, that's. I love Lupita, but there just weren't a lot of sub-Saharan Africans roaming the Aegean coastline during the late Bronze Age. When I went to university, I took a lot of. Granted, this was 40 years ago. 40, almost 40 years ago when I went to university. The classics, right? I took a lot of the history. I love, because I'm a huge Dungeons and Dragons guy. You talk about, I'm a science nerd. I'm a D&D nerd. But yes, there weren't many. Were there? There weren't many. Zendaya as a goddess of anything. I know you would say that. Yeah, I got it. Sport coat, is laughable. Yeah, well, I know. Boohoo, Latina casting. Wow, I need work. I know. Look, I think are we talking about Luciano? Because he's the first one to yik yak and complain that that should have been someone that was played by this person. But when he's playing someone that he shouldn't be playing, it's all good, right? He's a fucking two-faced bastard. I have no time for that guy. He is a Seth Rogen to me. I have no time for that guy. Even though I liked him in John Wick. I liked him in the first John Wick. I have no time for that guy. I got no time for Seth Rogen. I got no time for Ruffalo. Ruffalo. Some of these guys that are just freaking insufferable. I'm sure that most people will agree with me. Elliot Page was great when she was pretending to be a pregnant girl in Juno. Okay, well, Juno was great. Agreed. Yeah. Don't say it. Stop it. Damn you. Yes. What What? Matt Damon is too damn pasty to be playing Odysseus. Granted. They said the same thing about Heath Ledger. You know, no one liked Heath Ledger so until we got to see Heath Ledger in the role. That's my point. Until we got to see Heath Ledger in the role, and he blew us away. We'll see what Matt Damon has to deliver. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt at this point in time. Vivander, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Matt Damon should be eating corned beef and cabbage on a Sunday. Oh, the Bronze Age Greeks were largely Anatolian in origin. Matt Damon should be eating corned beef and cabbage on a Sunday afternoon. They weren't happy with a black teen America. We needed to get more diverse, y'all. Matt Damon, Team America reference. Yes, him. Ruffalo sucks. Hold on, guys. Let me repeat that. Ruffalo sucks. If you're watching Pop Rages and you disagree with that statement, I'm guaranteeing you are at the wrong place. You're at the wrong YouTube channel. If you disagree with that statement, you're at the wrong YouTube channel. I have nothing. I try not to be antagonistic against the person, but against what they say, maybe their performance, what they say about other people, how they say it. I have no problem stepping in and being bombastic against it. I know there's a lot of personalities on YouTube that they become pretty aggressive. I will be aggressive. I will state my opinion in a way that, as at the very least, would allow for discussion. So that if I said something and Mark Ruffalo said he disagreed with my statement about what I thought about him, it wasn't to the point of being so that we couldn't have a conversation about it. Why do you not like me, Danny? Here's why. Right? This is where we disagree. So I disagree with your position. I disagree with yours. Do I dislike the guy? I'm not going to like. If we didn't talk politics, movies, and those things, and we had beers and chicken wings, we'd probably get along. But it's not even a political difference. It's a screenwriting difference. As a screenwriter, I don't put any of that shit in anything that I've written. And all of my screenplays have won significant amounts of awards all over the world. I think specifically because I have a writing style that is... Now, I was an English major university. I took creative writing. I've also been writing my whole life. And the way that I write story, I've studied story. The way that I write stories, especially screenplays, I don't think I'm a good novelist. I'm not a very good novelist. I don't think I am. My screenplays kick ass. Shockingly, I am always surprised every time I win a screenplay in a film festival. And some of these are massive film festivals with thousands of screenplays. And you can imagine after like 4,000 screenplays are put into the Berlin Film Festival, and you get the email saying that you've won best screenplay in the Berlin Film Festival. It is freaking... I have not even, after all these years, come to understand. And I read my own screenplays back to, I understand what I wrote, how I wrote it. Why was the story construction so compelling? And you apply that, even as the writer, you do that to go, why is everyone seeing, and they add their notes, and so you go back through your own screenplay that you wrote. After all of these notes, so they'll take their screenplay. A lot of times they'll put notes right in the screenplay in a PDF. And they will submit back your screenplay and say, you've won. Here's our notes about your screenplay. Here's what we liked about your characters, about your script, about your storylines. And you read it and you're like, shit, did I write that? Did I write that? It is, guys, every time, even though I've won hundreds, it is as shocking to me, from the small ones to the large ones, Because story, when you read a story and you see a story, we're all subject to our own biases, our own likes and dislikes, the things that turn us off, the things that turn us on as moviegoers, as watchers, which is different than being a writer or the one that's charged with creating the story out of thin air, out of nothing. And it is a different experience that it's very hard. It's very hard to, well, you can, right? Until you don't go through something like that. You spend 12 months, hours, weeks, months writing something. You're by yourself for 8 to 10 to 12 hours every single day writing something. And then finally you release it into the film festival circuit and you keep changing it. It's never finished. Like I literally almost every single week I am fixing one screenplay, changing it, dialogue, everything. Always. Even the ones that have won dozens of film festivals from around the world, you're rewriting the story. You don't know, now with the story, you don't know if you gave this to a director, what the director would take from it. If it was optioned, what? Now, I could say that, look, you can option this story. I'll option it to you, but you don't change fuck all. You don't change anything. I'm not going to sell it to you. You can say that. We don't know from the screenplay to the director to the editing where all these limits come to. Now, that might limit the studio to say, look, if we can't make changes in the screenwriter, you've entered into an agreement with the screenwriter that says you can't make any fucking changes. We're not fronting the cash for that. We don't know if that's going to work out until we get the visual. But there are screenwriters that are strong enough. I don't know if there are anymore. Then when you write something, the directors that are screenwriters, Christopher Nolan, Denis Villeneuve, Steven Spielberg used to write. He doesn't write anymore. Not that I know of. But there's a few directors that are screenwriters, and it's a different idiom. But when you have a great screenplay, and I tell everybody, go online and you Google. I say Alien PD. Alien is one of the greatest screenplays. If you want to be a screenwriter or you want to learn about screenplays, you Google Alien PDF. And you read that. You read that screenplay. And you look at the visuals. Now understand, the screenplay came before the visuals, right? Ridley Scott was going from the screenplay. And you read it, and you got to remember, there is a chicken and an egg here. The screenplay is the egg, and the movie is the chicken. If you want to learn about movies, guys, read the Alien screenplay and then watch the movie. Or watch the movie while you're going through the screenplay. If you're on the computer or you printed it out, either way. It is... just because someone writes an amazing fucking screenplay does not mean the director is going to be able to take it and turn it into a masterpiece. The screenplay might have been a masterpiece, but the director, the cinematographer, and the set design, everything fucked it up. It happens a lot, right? From a great screenplay. We got a lot of talk here. We got a lot of talking. I just saw. We respond to things in real time, so sometimes when we read them, they don't make sense. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Izzy Miller, Izzy Miller, my friend. Hello, Izzy. Vavander, Ruffalo was great in Collateral, opposite to Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. Collateral is a great fucking movie. But that's when he's in character, yes. Collateral is one of Tom Cruise's best movies. If you haven't seen Collateral for Tom Cruise, yeah, Ravander, great point. As an actor, he is capable. Agreed. He was actually quite fun in the rom-com Just Like Heaven opposite Reese Witherspoon. I didn't see it. I'll admit I didn't see it. I don't think I saw that one. I like rom-coms sometimes. There was actually a Will Smith one that was, it was a one-word one. What was it called? It actually wasn't too bad. But I agree. Once in a while, a rom-com will kind of sit okay, right? Rom-com is Jerry Maguire. Is that a rom-com? I love Jerry Maguire. Loved Jerry Maguire. I don't think that's a rom-com, is it? It's like a comedy rom-com kind of thing, right? But Reese Witherspoon's best film is easily SFW opposite Steve. What was what is that? SFW 1994. Oh, the F is a bad word. We also broadcast on Facebook, and they don't like the F bomb on Facebook. They don't like the F bomb. Rotten 5.8 on Rotten Tomatoes. Some people may not agree with you. I haven't seen it though. Izzy, I just wanted your video review of the 2024 movie Land of Bad. Okay, I did a review of that on the channel. Like back when I was doing like I don't do recorded reviews anymore. My science channel takes up most of my day. And I love doing movies as like, as a screenwriter and everything like that. This is my shtick, man. Land of Bad was Land of Crap. Land of Bad. It's been 2 years since I've seen it, but it is such a everything from the way the story went. It was a complete cavalcade of they just kind of made it up as they go along. The one guy ended up all of a sudden he was in one place that he had to fight his way through. They ended up at the bad guy's place, but basically the entire reason why the movie existed, they went to the compound to find to do their thing. Then everything goes haywire. Then for the rest of the movie, you don't even know what they're trying to do. The guy's trying to run away to escape. You don't know what the reason for the movie existing is supposed to be. You've got Russell Crowe for half the movie. He's shopping at some, oh, I like this cheese. Hi, mate, you like this cheese? Hey, yeah, I got found this cheese here, mate. It says it's got 47%. Like, what the fuck am I watching? What the fuck am I watching? Land of Bad. Izzy, Land of Bad to me was Land of, I think I said it in the review, is Land of Crap. And that's why they spent $20 million, $10 million in marketing. A large part of that budget was Russell Crowe, right? I mean, the concept could have been good. The screenwriting was shit. It was bad. Land of Bad is Land of Crap. That's why they spent $30 million with production and marketing. And I think they made about, after they split with the theaters, they made about $5 million back. They fucking lost $25 million is what they lost. $25 million. Land of Bad, Izzy, Land of Bad is Land of Crap. I don't know. Look, you might disagree with me. But that's I can't remember everything about the movie, but it was a bad movie. Spork Vavander, what is F? So S, so effing what? It's the acronym for so effing what, and it's S.F.W. Pamela, hi baby, husband Pamela, baby, hi baby. Fucking Pamela, I'll say Pamela, I'll say this about you: you're fucking adorable. Okay, you're fucking adorable. You are. Like you are. I just got home from the VFW, from the veterans American Honey Shots. Woohoo! Yes, I love that you work with the veterans, Pamela. I do. I think that is freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. I miss bands. I was in Dallas last year and got to check out a Deep Ullum Club. For the first since the 90s. It was great. I used to play live. I used to play live on stage. I was the front guy. I played keyboards, bass. I played guitar. Lead only when I had to. Rhythm, yeah, rhythm. look, when you're trying to be a performer on stage, sing and like, get the crowd, lead guitar is like, so before the Goo Goo Dolls became famous, they used to come, I was like in Calgary at the time. They would come to the Westward Club. They came to the Westward Club like 3 times before they became famous. And the Goo Goo Dolls were more like a raunchy, grungy rock band, right? If you listen to the early Goo Goo Dolls stuff, it was grungy. And the great thing was Johnny Resnick would play lead guitar and sing. And to me, that was like fucking awesome, right? That was just awesome. And he'd play some seriously good lead, 3-piece, right? 3-piece. So you had him as lead vocals, lead guitar, and then you had, what's his other name? Dude playing bass, and of course the drummer, right? 3-piece. And they sounded freaking awesome. This is when they were playing clubs, before Iris came out. And it was so awesome. So I bumped into him one night, and I went to go talk to him at the bar, and had a couple of drinks with him. Great guy. Johnny Resnick is a great guy. He's funny, down to earth. And everybody that still meets Johnny Resnick to this day from the Goo Goo Dolls still says the same thing about Resnick. I don't know whether you like their music or not. There's a lot of music from the Goo Goo Dolls that I like. But going back to those old days, like the old clubs, right? The old freaking clubs, the old days where you could go watch live music. Rock bands. Like this was late 80s, early 90s. When the Goo Goo Dolls went to the Westward Club, and I think it was like 3, 4, maybe 5 times. I don't know. Look, I'm a young guy, right? I'm in my early 20s, mid 20s. I'm a musician. I'm going hanging out, drinking. One thing about music and live shows, there's girls, right? Oh, fucking right. Oh. Good times. Those are good times. And then when Johnny Resnick and the Goo Goo Dolls made it big, I'm like, fuck, no way. Dude got a nose job. He got a nose job. I got a nose job. But he had that same voice in the old clubs as he did. He never changed. He had the same. He doesn't have a great voice. Johnny Resnick does not have a great voice, but he has a great voice. It's like Sting. Sting does not have a great voice, but Sting has a great voice, if you know what I mean, right? So Evander, I'm totally with you. I get it. Those were different days, different times, right? Hey, Dennis, who's the new chap talking so much? That's Sport Coat. I was here first. But I will shut up in a fit. No. Pamela is no Sport Coat. No. Oh, just kidding. Okay, there you go. Just kidding, chap. Can't stop talking. Yeah. It's great. I tell you, the funnest time that I have when we do a segment and we get to comments, it's literally, what the shit that you guys say? Because you hear different opinions and you hear stuff that is like just great. Just kidding, chap. Can't stop talking, laughing my freaking ass off. Oh, snap. Sporty King just playing. Yeah. Sport Coat. Gotta play or else what's the point? What is the point? This is fun. Look, we're all probably at home. It's Thursday night. We all want to just, we want to hang out. We want to be a part of something just for a little while. We don't have to agree on everything. Probably a lot of things we agree on, right? Some of us are having a beverage. I'm having red wine. I know for me, I don't prejudge. I will be friends with anyone and everybody. And I think that's probably the same with everyone else. We might come to disagree on things over beer and chicken wings, but we will have a good time. We will have a good time disagreeing. Come to Mass and play bass for me. My bass player sucks. I'm not. Bass was, when you start playing, when you first play guitar, bass is so easy, right? You're just playing scales, right? Although I always loved putting in when I was kind of forced into playing bass, I always love putting the guitar bass chords in, right? Because you get that, like you get 2 or 3. If you get 2 or 3 strings playing on that bass guitar, and you want that rich, thuddy, deep, thick bass sound, right? You do a 4-string G note, right? Or if you wanted like a big thick G, or just an open G, right? You tune your bass so you get a lot of that open string sounds. Yeah, I know. That is our setup. I am lead guitar and vocal. All right, brother. Right, brother. I've been there. I know what it's like. Lead guitar and vocal is tough, my friend. That's a Johnny Resnick move. We have bass and one of the best drummers in Massachusetts. Ah, Joey rocks. What's your band's name? What's your what? How are the kids, by the way? Are they asleep? Are the kids asleep? Today was my leg day. My quads are considering filing for divorce. I hate leg day. I hate leg. So the thing is, Vander. So because I was a kickboxer, I always work the bag, and I always do a series of boxing, and then of course roundhouses. I don't do as many side kicks. I still got to get back to a certain level of fitness to get to my side kicks, jumping side kicks. But also where I go, my bag doesn't hang in the center. It hangs around the boxing ring, so I can't get all the way around it. So I can't do spinning back kicks and things like that. But I hate doing on the weights. I hate leg day. So what I will do, I totally get it. It makes me sick, actually. I get nauseous on leg day. So what I will do is I'll throw extra kicks, now roundhouses, front snaps and everything like that, and do side raises, all these things, and then I'll go and I'll do. I don't do heavy weights on the legs. I do the scissor ones and then the press ones, but I get it. I get if I lift too heavy on the legs, I get sick. I get nauseous, and very common. It's a very common thing when you're doing leg day. So I get you, man. And then if you do a really hard leg day, you're walking around like you're like, like what's wrong with Vavander? Oh, he had leg day. Vavander had leg day today. He did legs today. Is that why he's looking like he got one up the bum? Yes. Leg day. Oh, it's so bad. So bad. He's no good, my friend. The other thing, what was... You know what? It's either... You know what? Okay. Okay, so this is going to be quick. Before there's something dealing with Paramount's Skydance and Saudi Arabian money that I wanted to bring up. But we'll add this. Let's just do this quickly. So, my friends, WGA reaches surprise deal with studios a month before contract expires. No one wants another. Let me see if I can get this even better. Nope. Maybe. No one wants another strike, especially the industry, which is declining. So many of my friends, I moved away from Los Angeles after 20 years. There's so many people. As a matter of fact, almost everyone I knew in the movie film production business moved away. Almost every single person I knew in Los Angeles moved away. There were entire buildings that I would go visit friends, away from where I was on San Pedro. I was on San Pedro, kind of close to Washington. I don't know if any of you guys know Los Angeles. I was on San Pedro, close to Washington. And there are entire buildings where graphic artists used to be. These old buildings, 22 stories, the old style buildings, right? The 1930s buildings. And the entire buildings were full of graphic artists, people that worked in the movie business. And we knew, because they were only 2 or 3 blocks away from us, that they were literally empty. Because the entire graphic arts and the movie business literally got wiped out within 6 months, guys. 6 months with AI. People were wiped out. One month they were making $20,000 a month. The next month they couldn't get a job for the life of them. This is what happened. This is what happened in the production business in Los Angeles. You don't see it unless you're a part of it. I knew people that literally moved back to where they, after 20, 25 years, moved back to where they came from. And they literally got jobs at Starbucks or bartending or whatever they could because the production business sunk so bad. That is literally, now what you're left with is the riffraff. the Starfleet Academy writers, the Alan Kurtzman's group, the Marvel writers, the people that are with all these people that have usurped real screenwriters, and these are agenda-based screenwriters. They have a political ideology, and they cannot write anything. They cannot write anything without their ideology becoming intertwined with their writing, and their writing sucks ass, right? Section 31, even though that wasn't it was just bad screenwriting. Starfleet Academy, Star Wars. You can go on and on and on. As a screenwriter, look, people wanted to buy my screenplays under the auspice that they would change something. I said, fuck that. You're not taking my screenplay. No, I would have never sold my screenplays. Now, people would say I could have had a big payday. I know, but I wrote this thing. I spent a year fucking writing it. Being myself by myself in front of a computer. Hours upon hours upon hours, countless hours. These characters become your baby. And like hell, I'm going to fucking sell it to somebody that wants to put a chick in it and make her gay. Not in my screenplays. That's why I own all of my screenplays still. I own all of my screenplays. And you can Google me. I always tell people, you can Google Danny Alex screenplays and you'll see, that's only about 2/3 of the awards that I won around the globe. Without tooting my own horn. The point is, the Screenwriters Guild of America, the writers that are mostly comprised. Now, this includes a lot. This isn't just Hollywood, right? It includes writers from all idioms. And a good writer is probably the one that's going to get fucked, right? If a movie does $1.5 billion, you would think the writer would make. A lot of times, it's the writer that's literally making the least amount of money, even though they are the catalyst as to why that movie made the money it did. So I'm a free market capitalist. I am not a union guy, but this is good. The Writers Guild of America has made a surprise deal with major studios nearly a month before the union's contract was due to expire. The Guild reached a tentative agreement on Saturday with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. The deal will run for 4 years instead of the typical 3-year term, a significant benefit to the studios, which will get an extra year without the possibility of a strike. The WGA negotiating committee sent a message to members Saturday night confirming the agreement. Details were not immediately forthcoming, but the deal was expected to include major cash infusion into the Guild's teetering health fund, which has bled $200 million over the last 4 years. Today, the WGA negotiating committee unanimously approved a tentative agreement with the the American Producers Guild for the 2026 minimum basic agreement for a 4-year term. Crucially, it protects our health plans and puts it on a sustainable path with increased company contributions across many areas and long-needed increases to health contribution caps. If you've ever lived in the United States, for those people who haven't, who are around the globe, and those people who are in the United States, you know the healthcare fucking sucks. Sucks. When I was in Los Angeles, I got appendicitis. It cost me about $30,000. $30,000 I spent out of pocket. Because I didn't want to pay the $800 a month or $1,000 a month for that $10,000 per month deductible. For all those years, I would have spent way more than that $30,000. But anyway, if I was in Calgary, I'm not saying I live in Calgary, but if I was in Calgary where healthcare is free, but look, Calgary is the Dallas of Canada. For someone who has lived half of their life in America and half of their life in Canada, I know I would much rather get appendicitis here in Canada. Much rather. You will go bankrupt. And this is why the healthcare makes such a big deal. And anyone in the United States, if you don't have company-sponsored healthcare, you're fucked. You're going to be spending a lot of money with a huge deductible. You want to have a baby in America? You think twice. It is horrible. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go into what's happening in Iran and the needs of the American people. I'm not going to get into it. Today, the WGA Negotiating Committee unanimously approved a tentative agreement with the AMPTP for the 2026 Minimum Basic Agreement, MBA, for a 4-year term. The committee told members, crucially, it protects our health plan. That's their number one thing, health. And puts it on a sustainable path with increased company contributions across many areas and long needed increasing to health contribution caps. Like that was literally the main thing, healthcare. That is the main thing for families and people across America. I know, because I have, after 20 years in Los Angeles, the people I know, what's their biggest stress point? Healthcare. What's my least stress point? Let's just say I live in Calgary, Canada. What's the thing I never stress about? Healthcare. Not one thing. If I want to go see a doctor tomorrow morning, there's a doctor's office that's 5 minutes to my left. There's one that's 10 minutes that way. I'll just walk over there or just drive over there and say, well, can I see a doctor? It's going to be 5 minutes. Can you? Okay, I'll wait. 5 minutes. I'll wait the 5 minutes. Okay. But this is why healthcare is such a big thing. If you are, like I say, I spent half my life in America, half my life in Canada. I know this, the two, like I get it. The biggest stress in America is, and this is what the biggest stress is, and this is why healthcare was the biggest issue with the WGA. The deal must be approved by the WGA. The MP, they'll approve it. They'll approve it. But anyway, so there was a little appetite for a strike this time around, which would only exacerbate the global contraction of the industry. The industry is contracting whether you like it or not, and it's going to continue to contract. Eventually, there will be pockets where production companies understand that the Type A man up, my friends. Can I just say something? One thing that I think could be a major part of this broadcast with Pop Rages is the saying, man up. Man the frick up. Type A male personality TV shows with a little depth, right? You don't need to have these stupid guys running around doing, you can have that too. Okay, you can have that too. But I'm talking about Millie Alcock complaining that who owns your body? Millie, man up. That's like the saying that should be going around Hollywood. Man the frick up, okay? Man up. Man up. Stop being a frickin' baby and frickin' man up, man. Because no sissies allowed. Look, if you can't frickin' take it, get the fuck out of the kitchen. Sometimes shit is tough. It's stressful. It's hard. If you are them, they, and you can't fucking take it, go home and poop your pants. Go home and poop your pants. What's there? Whoa, there's some talking. There's some conversation. Where are we here? Did I read this one? I did. Leg Day? Yeah. Sport Co-Lurking. Sport Co-Lurking is my band name. Oh, fucking right on. Okay. I am doing the no and playing on the company account. That's fucking no. It's yes. Good with me. Hollywood cannot afford another strike. All of the homeless shelters in LA are already full. Oh, dude. I could tell you stories like where I was. So I was about 10 blocks from Skid Row when I first moved to San Pedro, and which was around, I guess it was around I forgot what avenue it was. It's almost a full year since I moved from Los Angeles. It was 2 blocks from Washington, right where the overpass for the 10. I went left, and the 10 was like literally a block away. Skid Row was about 11 blocks away from where I was when I first moved there. When I left Los Angeles, it was about like 5 or 6 blocks away from where I was. And it just spreads like wildfire, right? So all around me, and the big thing that it shocks nobody in Los Angeles anymore. Entire blocks of people, families, guys, I'm talking families, sleeping in their cars. And you know that someone's sleeping in there because they have everything, boarded up and it's a car. Sometimes it's an SUV or a van. A lot of vans, right? So vans are actually quite pricey because people want vans to live in. Because you could modify a van, like your regular old Ford van, right? Your boxy van, modify it into a kitchen, into a lot of things. That becomes a makeshift home. And look, the temperatures in Los Angeles are the best in the world. The weather in LA is the best in the world. But I could take my scooter, drive, walk, block after block, everywhere around Washington, around Santee Alley, around that whole area, Los Angeles Street. Everywhere was just full of people living in cars, motorhomes, old motorhomes, campers, whatever you call it. Life in Los Angeles, guys. Yeah. And a lot of these like old campers are like screenwriters, right? Screenwriters and production people, grips, people that work in the industry. Hollywood employed useless people for stupid reasons, and now it's contracting. Wow, how did this happen? There's some really good people. We can focus on some of the less skilled people. There's some great fucking people that I've known for years in Los Angeles. Great men and women. Fucking fun, great men. Like a lot of them are narcissists. Yes, most of the actors. It's a pretender society. You pretend to be something you're not. That's what Hollywood is. But in Los Angeles, most of the world that we see in Los Angeles, you don't fucking care about movies when you're living in Los Angeles. You don't even think twice about it. Most people just live their lives, and then there's this subculture of Los Angeles there, right? Damn, 807, you're on fire! You's on fire, Evander. I have Googled you. You're kind of a big deal. I don't think I'm a big deal. I don't know. I mean, that's it. Simple alert. I love Pamela. Pamela's my girl. Pamela's my girl. Yeah, but at what cost does the healthcare come at? Zero. Do you know how rich Alberta is? Calgary is like the Dallas of Texas. Very conservative budgets. Money ain't thrown down shit creek. Well, I guess some of it is. That's government. Government does that. If you Google places where there's no rats, there's only one place in the world where there's no rats. It's Alberta, Canada. It's the only place in the world. If you Google the cleanest city in North America, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Yes, it costs money, but the thing is, so it's different. I can get into this, but it's very rich and it's very deep. So the system in Canada is that all of the services that can be provided by the medical system, they are price controlled. And why are they price controlled? Because if you have cancer, you have to get treatment. What is now? Look, I worked on Wall Street for 8 years. I am an economic analyst. The economy is my game. And what these dumbasses try to do, they try and equate healthcare to the cosmetic surgery, which is different because it's fucking elective. Elective surgery. Look, this nose job costs this much here, and the nose job costs this much here. You know what? I've decided I like my nose. I don't need a nose job. If you got cancer and you're going to die without that brain surgery, there's no elective. So when health becomes a matter of life or death, There's no more electives involved. Alberta has one of the lowest mortality birth rates in the world, has one of the best survival cancer rates in the world. America has one of the worst baby birth survival rates in the world, one of the worst cancer survival rates in the world. It does cost money. It does. Now, can most states, provinces do what Alberta, Canada does? Can Montana? Well, maybe Montana makes, there are some states that could. There's some states that could. But the system in the United States is just different. There's so many scammers. There's so many scammers in the United States. The system in the United States is built for scam. And you think the doctors don't live in big freaking houses here in Canada? Oh, they do, my friend. They live very fucking well. They have big houses and they have very nice cars. So it's very different. And here's the thing, I don't think anyone knows about the healthcare system in the United States. The healthcare system in the United States is almost an absolute mystery on how does all this money get sloshed around between the insurance companies and everything that goes in between to the hospitals. I'll tell you this, guys, this is fucking amazing. When I was having appendicitis and I was in the hospital, I was in a private hospital because the public hospitals were too full. It was a Sunday night, I had to go. And so I get this bill. So she comes in. I went in on a Saturday night, and on a Tuesday, I had to stay a couple of extra days because of some infection stuff that they were concerned of. So the girl comes from accounting. She says, okay, I don't want you to get alarmed, but this is the accounting. So this is what we would normally charge you if you had insurance. And it was over $10,000 per day. It was 10. And I was like, whoa. She goes, no, because you're not insurance. You're just a normal person. So we shit, what did they charge me? They charged me $1,500 per day. Was it $1,500 per day? But we're only charging because you don't have insurance. I said, I think it was even more than that. It turned out to be almost $100,000 just for the hospital stay. And it only turned out to be $6,000. $6,000 because I didn't have insurance. Otherwise, it would have been, I think, $94,000. It was even more than that. So they have two different pay scales. If you have insurance and if you don't have insurance. Ridiculous. Money comes from somewhere. It does. It does. I live in the U.S. and have 2 kids. Healthcare has not been a problem. That's cool. That's cool. But is it private or do you get health insurance from where you work? If you get health insurance from where you work, that's different. That's only like 34% of America, a small percentage. Otherwise, otherwise, are you into Obamacare? Home improvement type stuff, male-centric. Yeah. Please do. Millie should be able to man up. She is all... That is good. Yes, Millie should be able to man up. She is all cock, isn't she? If Sebastian Bach was on Skid Row, how could he afford all that moose? I don't know. 18 and life. Yeah, 18. That was the big song, right? 18 and life. Yeah, but how do you clean the human shit off the scooter wheels? That's tough. Sport coat. It's hard. It's hard. The stuff that you see driving a scooter through downtown Los Angeles. I had a Hummer. I'm H3 Hummer. I love H3 Hummers. I do. I love H3 Hummers. Not H2s. They're big. But the H3 Hummers, I do like them. And I had a black one in Los Angeles. So I wouldn't drive it very much because everything was so close to me. The theaters, I could walk or jog to the theaters or scoot to the theaters if I was going to see a movie. Anywhere, if I went shopping anywhere, it was like literally 2 minutes away on a scooter. I'd buy a big backpack and I would take it. But the poop off the human wheels, there are some places where you drive in downtown LA and you smell it. You go through holy you smell it. Alberta is just like Texas. It's full of steers and queers. I don't know if there's full of queers, man. There's a lot of steers though. maybe there's careers. I don't know. I don't see the shit. All right. I know you are reacting to my comments after they were relevant, but you really want to steal. You want to steal man. But you really want to steal Man Canada after we saw your clown show with the racial equity cards. Oh, I'm not, dude. Look, I'm not saying anything. Like I say, I spent I have a U.S. social, I have a Canadian social, so I see things from all sides. But the funniest thing to me is when people in the United States criticize the healthcare in Canada, and they've never fucking been to Canada. So do you think maybe I've been to, California. California might be different than a lot of the states, okay? But do you think I don't have firsthand experience after 20, half of my life in Los Angeles and half of my adult life in Canada? I might have a pretty good perspective, right? I'm not a fan of, look, Calgary, Alberta is a different monster than Toronto. And you got to like the cold. If you don't like the cold, you're not going to like Canada. But also, like I say, I'm opening up a studio, which I'm going to be in LA for 6 months of the year. Hopefully, it's going to look very similar. Like I don't know how long it's going to take me, but basically, because I can work on both sides of the border. There's things that I miss about the United States. There's things that I miss about Canada. Right? It's not like there's one that is better than the other. It just some parts are better, some things are better, some things are worse, some things are right. It's all your clown show, like it's my clown show. A racial equity card. I don't even know what the racial equity cards are. I have no idea what you're talking about. What are racial equity cards? Like a lot of the things that they say in America, you're like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? Hannity makes up so much shit. He literally just makes it up. Hannity is the dumbest fucking nitwit on Fox. I am right of center. Economically, I am fucking right of center. I was born in the communist country, motherfucker. You want to talk about communism? I'll fucking tell you a story or two about that shit way of living. But there was a time I used to like Fox News. Fox News is shit. Just like MSNBC or MS Now. It's all media shit. Poutine! I miss the poutine. That's more of a Quebec thing, but I think it's kind of around. But I know it's a lot, like in Massachusetts and some of the close states, there's a lot of, I watch Beard Meets Food. If you guys like food channels, Beard Meets Food. Beard Meets Food. I love me some Beard Meets Food. Great guy. Great channel. He's had a couple of poutine challenges. No, this came from your country. From your country. I'm from both countries. I don't even know what racial equity cards are. I don't know what they are. I literally have to Google it. Let me see what they are. Conversational toolkits designed to discuss race privilege or controversial equity cards used for identifying marginalized delegates in political settings. They serve either as educational healing tools for dialogue. Look, man, you know who fucking made up woke? America made up fucking woke. Woke comes from your fucking white female bullshit from the States. Not yours, it's also mine, because I lived in the United States for half my freaking life. Woke is a fucking American creation. Manifesting itself around the world, motherfucker. Motherfucker! There goes my entire Facebook. As controversial instruments meant to manage speaking, order, and representation. Discussion and I know you can't see what I'm reading. I didn't put it up, but How do they, tools called calling cars or anti-black? I don't even know what, they're in Canada? Oh, that's the fucking NDP party. The NDP party gets like 2% of the vote. Recently, the 2026 NDP Leadership Convention in Canada used and subsequently debated a system where delegates held cards. That's like saying the Green Party in America did something. Like it fucking matters. The NDP is about as relevant as like my morning poop. The NDP? Imagine if you said, well, the Green Party said that they're going to do this in their political system. Oh, fuck me. Come on, bro. That's why I've never even heard of these racial whatever the crap it is. The NDP party, which is like a marginalized... like I say, that's like the Green Party saying this is our platform and suggesting that it's applied across the entire fucking United States. Come on, brah. Come on, sport coat. I've never even heard of the term before. That's why, because of the fucking NDP, this dumb left-wing, left of center, dumbass political party, which is a marginalized party, if I may say. Wait, I like this one. Hold on a sec. What is this? Canada loves it, likes it, favorite prostitute? I like prostitutes. Just kidding. He's talking about the recent NDP convention. Right. NDP, it's a fucking marginalized little piece of shit. It's like saying the Green Party. The Green Party of the United States says this is their platform. Oh, look, all Americans believe because the Green Party said this. Come on, bro. I just educated you. Look, you're talking. You want to come to Western Canada? You're talking about fucking Texas, Florida. Western Canada is, if you want to call it, conservative land. It's not a very religious. We're not very religious here. Are there? Of course, there's churches. There's people that are religious, but we're just conservative. We don't believe in the. It's like NDP. And the National Democratic Party of Canada. They've been around for so long, but I think they get like 3% of the vote, 3 to 5% of the vote in almost, they're nothing. There's only two main parties, the Conservatives and the Liberals. It's just like in the United States. Those are the two main parties. In Quebec, we have the Quebecois, I think it's called. But I've been gone from Canada for so long, so I really don't know Canadian politics as well as I should. Because I follow U.S. politics, always have. Because I worked in the stock market. So U.S. politics has always been my bag. Yeah, U.S. politics. So people talk about Canadian politics here. I'm like, okay, wait a second. I gotta educate myself on Canadian politics. For the longest time, I didn't even know who the fucking prime minister was. I think woke probably starts with French deconstructionism myself. Could be. I mean, could be. I don't know. American leftists are almost always trying to pretend that they're French. Oh, I like that. I may not disagree with that. No, you didn't. I'm serious. Educate me, because Canada looks weak and woke as fuck. I can't. What do you? I don't know what you want me to tell you. 20 years in Los Angeles. You want to talk about fucking woke? Holy shit, man. That's woke. California's fucking woke. I can't tell you what it's like to be like in Calgary. But I'm telling you, it's nothing like being in Los Angeles. I haven't, I've been here a year. I was just telling my friends this. I've been here for almost a year. Do you know how many police officers I've seen? 2. I think 3. Because I go to the gym like at 3 in the morning. I go to Gold's, because at 24-hour Gold's here. Literally. In all of my driving, I've seen 3 fucking police cars in a year. There's no police here. I get scared sometimes. I think if I need a police officer and I call one, because hey, in LA they're fucking everywhere. But in LA you can't call them because they're still. I once got I got a 911 signal. I called 911. I got a fucking busy signal because some stone guy was knocking at the back of my place. He was so whacked and out of it. And he got way out of control. And I went down. I said, look, dude, settle down. He wouldn't settle down. I tried to call the police. I got a fucking busy signal. Twice. This was when I was on Melrose. And dude started to get violent. So what did I do? Like, look, sorry, I'm a kickboxer, but I fucking tuned him in the back alley. Because this was my back door into the back alley. And I fucking tuned him in. He walked around. He walked away limping. I don't know if I probably broke his rib. I don't know what the fuck I did to him. But I couldn't get the police because I got two busy signals. And you drive around Los Angeles and you see freaking police officers everywhere. I have seen in almost May 11th is when I moved back, when I left Los Angeles. I've seen 3 police cars the whole fucking time. I get scared. I get scared thinking if I need a police officer, is there one? Yeah, there probably is. Because look, our police officers here love donuts. And look, I have a US social and I have a Canadian social. I have both. And I know both very, very well. I know US politics much better than I know Canadian politics. Is there one? Look, both countries have great things about them. Both countries have things that suck about them. And that's the bottom line. Yeah, we suck. We can't. Why you can't admit it with evidence that Canada has embraced being a complete pussy on every issue? Look, the information that you get there is not the same information that we get here. Whatever you're being fed there, it's not true. It's just not true. I'll tell you what, if America invaded Canada, we get all of our fucking dead dog sled units mobile, right? We get all of our dogs. We've got dog sled units with like 50 calibers mounted. These dog sled units run. Fuck, you want to fuck around with that? You want to fuck around with that? Come on, right? Huh? This is Canada, Bruce. This is Canada, Bruce Willis. People, look. There's stuff that sucks about both countries, and there's stuff that is awesome about both countries. And like I say, I've lived in both of them for decades. You got to at least afford me the fact that I have lived in both countries for decades under both systems. At least I have if America invaded Canada, there would be a lot of dead dogs. There would be. What? You wouldn't kill the dogs? Why would you kill the dogs? You can't kill the dogs. Sport coat. Come on, man. You're going to invade Nova Scotia? Is Maine going to invade Nova Scotia? Brother. I don't need that. Why are we on there? We're done with that. Why was I for the longest time I was a little thing in the corner. But I am. Hopefully in the next year I will have my Los Angeles. I think it's going to be Los Angeles. I got to open up a US studio. I want a US studio. So one of my best friends, he's got a house in Hesperia. So we're looking at building. He's got a huge lot, and we're best friends. Like, he's such a fucking good guy. He's my buddy from Mexico, right? And I get along with his entire family and everything like that. So I miss them. I miss him. So we're talking about building getting one of those fabricated homes. I think they're about 1,000 square feet. And of course, in Hesperia, the weather is fantastic. The food is great. Everything is great. So I'm looking at having a YouTube studio 6 months of the year in Hesperia, 6 months of the year. So I go between Hesperia and Canada. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it happens in the next few months. I'll keep you guys posted, but it's good. Collateral doggage. So well said, my friend. So well said. But I do. I have lived under both systems for decades. Sport coat. Oh my God. Viva, love you so. Shit. I think I've said the F-bomb a few times because we're on Facebook as well. I know that like I see the number, like, you know, the numbers on Facebook, and I see how many people are watching everywhere, and it's kind of like I wish they just put it all together, put the numbers, just smash it all together, but they keep it all separate all the time. But that's okay. But it's, you know what, guys, it's all good. You know, I honestly, when I lived in the United States, people, even though I was born in Europe, I was born in the Czech Republic, I was born in Brno. We escaped when the Russians invaded in 1968. When the pig dogs from Russia, the pig dogs from Russia invaded because the Prague Spring. My dad's name was on the list. So he literally just picked me and my brother up. I was 3 months old, and we as quickly as we could left everything behind. No change of clothes, just the clothes on the back. And we got out on the last border crossing to Vienna, where my dad's sister, she would create fake passports for Czech citizens to get out. He was part of the underground. That's why his name was on the list. And that's how we landed in Vancouver, because they were allowing free citizenship for all. So when I tell people that I was a refugee, so that my family landed in Vancouver, we didn't know the language. We had the only clothes that we had were the clothes on our backs. We had no money. We had no food. We had no nothing. We landed in Vancouver, but people will tell me that doesn't make sense because you're white. This is how fucking stupid so many people are. This is how stupid, asinine, dumbass, backwards, that because of the color of your skin, you can't be a fucking refugee. My dad was a mechanical engineer who worked as a janitor for 9 years. 9 years before he could get his equivalency as a computer and mechanical engineer. My mother was a draftsperson. She drafted all the oil refineries. She had to get equivalency as well. Took them 9 years as they worked as janitors. I remember. But because we had the wrong color skin and people don't regard us as refugees, we didn't know the language. We didn't know anything. So every time I hear that, you get a big fuck you from me. Fuck you. What my family went through. What my parents went through. And then I hear people complaining where they have generations of living in the United States and they complain they don't have enough. Well, my fucking family lost everything no more than 5 decades ago when I was 3 months old. So fuck you and your reparations and bullshit. How about get a fucking job, right? Get a fucking job. I must speak in your language. I was born here and I love it here. Hey, Massachusetts is a great place. Massachusetts, I hear great things about Massachusetts. And I love it here. I want to protect it. Yeah, absolutely. You got to protect your home. Like the way, that's why spending 30, 40, 50, $200 billion in Iran. Are you fucking serious? Do you know how many people need it in the United States? What happened to no more wars? What happened to like America first? What the fuck happened to everything that you preached? You know what? We gave up one president with dementia. We traded it with another president with dementia. U.S. taxpayer money should go to U.S. taxpayers to get. Because people hate us for protecting this and here. No, people don't hate America for that. People hate America for freaking doing the bullshit that's happening in fucking Iran. Doing Israel's bidding. That's why freaking people hate America. All the Middle East wars were for fucking nothing. Libya. U.S. taxpayer money should be spent on U.S. taxpayers. And the $8 trillion that has been wasted in the Middle East, wasted. $8 trillion wasted in the Middle East. Could you imagine if that money went to Americans? Could you imagine? Sport coat. Could you fucking imagine if there really was an America First agenda, if there really was a Make America Great Again. My friend, I think we're talking the same language. Let U.S. taxpayer money benefit U.S. taxpayers. When you need a bribe, when you need to bribe a guy to flee Eastern Europe, you need to pay a check. You need to pay by check. Yes, you do. Yeah. You spelt it right too. You spelt it right, motherfucker. I want to protect my home. That's why I change the locks on my wife. Oh yeah, so good. Is Pamela still there? Pamela, cutesy pootsy. Hey, cutesy pootsy, what are you doing? Sportco, they will never let tax money benefit taxpayers. Get real. Right, exactly. That's the problem. My friend, dude, right? That's the problem. That is where America needs to be. Ultimately, everyone thought that we were basically taking back the country by bringing in MAGA. And what MAGA turned out to be, bombs are expensive. I'll get to that in a second. I think Trump has dementia. I think he's unequivocally showing he's got dementia. He literally thinks the U.S. military is his like personal bodyguard. He can send it away. He could send it. Can you imagine if America invades Greenland? What does that mean for NATO? Can you imagine the fucking problems that creates? Do I think Denmark is using Greenland? Of course not. Do I think the American system can take advantage of this massive tract of land called Greenland? The best? Yes. The U.S. system is the only system that can maximize everything that is in Greenland. But it can't be done the way that dementia Trump. I used to be a Trump supporter. And in a lot of ways, I still am. But not like this. Not like this. Bombs are expensive, especially when I've eaten at Chipotle the previous night. Yeah, I like the double beef. I like the double beef. Double beef with the white rice, the spicy salsa, and what else do I put on there? No sour cream. Yeah. It's good. It's good eating. It's good eating. No, we just really didn't want Kamala. Well, that's brother. That's reason enough. Why did you vote for Trump? Because I didn't want Kamala. Yes. That's reason enough, right? Dude. Yeah. What the hell is going on? You're going to have Gavin fucking Newsom? He's gonna be the Democrat guy. Great job in California, dude. Great job. After 20 years in Los Angeles, I've watched it go from here to like here and lower and lower. Yes. He might have dementia, but that is after the fact of voting. It is. It's also going given the choice between Kamala and Trump. Even if you had dementia Trump, Kamala or dementia Trump, I think I'll take dementia Trump. I think I would. I would. Kamala was the worst. Oh my God. Could you imagine President Kamala? Like I know I'm not saying anything that you haven't thought about in your dreams as a fucking horror movie. What I really wanted was a Ron DeSantis presidency. If I could look what he's done in Florida, is proof of the pudding. He has proven that his policies kick ass. And if the policies of Florida were implemented across the United States, my friends, I think we would have such yeah, I think like I don't know if everyone agrees. A Ron DeSantis presidency would be fucking amazing. It would be. It'd be great for the movie business too. Be great for the movie business. I don't know why, because it would be. Kamala was a linguistic vegetarian. Oh my God. Oh my God. I know. Do you remember? A master of the word salad. Do you remember how many times she'd be asked the most simplest question? Well, I think that when you really put it into perspective, we need to take everything and we got to account for all those things that we've talked about. And we've talked about a lot of things, but you just can't take it all and make it look like it's true, because some of it's not. And then you gotta parse the good with the bad. And so when you ask the question, look, I'm not sure if I'd want to go more into this direction or veer. It's 5 minutes of talking and she said nothing, right? That was my Kamala Harris impression right there. No Trump, no DeSantis. So who do you say? Who do you say, Sportco? Give me a name quickly. Give me a name. Type it, brother. Type it. Come on. What's your name? Give me a name. President who? President. Dot. Sport coat thinking. Sport coat lurking thinking. Dot. JD Vance? What do you we got a quiet period. Ron DeSantis over Trump any day. Ron DeSantis over Trump any day. Any day. Any day. Any day. Any day. Any day. But anyway, so that yeah, I think we covered everything. We got our Daredevil. So next week is Daredevil episode 5. It's getting pretty bad, guys. Daredevil it's pretty bad. The Punisher, May 12th, 2026, guys. We are one month away from The Punisher. And that's going to lead us into Spider-Man Born Again, which is, what was it? July 17th? Spider-Man Born Again, July 17th. We got the Odyssey. Tom Holland has watched the movie. No, Odyssey is July 17th. When is Spider-Man Born Again? Hold on a sec. Spider-Man Born Again release date. Oh, no, sorry, not Born Again. Fuck. Sorry, brand new day. Born Again. That's Daredevil. July 31st, guys. Odyssey. It's going to be, look, we've had so many bombs this year, movie bombs, so many. 2026 is the year of the movie bombs. It's either a movie bomb or it's a blockbuster. That's the way this whole year is shaping up. July 31st is Spider-Man Brand New Day. July 17th is the Odyssey. And I think Brand New Day, like it's going to kick ass over all of the other Marvel TV shows. It'll kick ass over all of them. So we know, because we know what we've been getting from Marvel, right? We know what's coming, like Doomsday, whatever. The only reason I'll watch Doomsday is because I have to review it. If I can get away with watching it on streaming, like, and push it back, I'll do it. I don't want to give them money. I don't want to give Disney Marvel money. I don't. So we'll see. Guys, that is the show. We had some interesting conversation. We really did. I think we did. So thank you all for putting your 2 cents in. I always appreciate it. Sporco, Evander, Pamela, everybody. Thank you very much. It's a Thursday Night Big Show tonight. We are going to, I'll see you on the Saturday night. Pop Rageous Live. It's Saturday night. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. I know we are. It's going to be Saturday's going to be a huge grab bag full of a whole bunch of different things. I got a whole bunch of things written down. It's going to be like a lot of 15, 20-minute segments talking about everything from Black Snake to Spider-Man to Daredevil to everything. Starfleet Academy, Supergirl, Power Girl, Power Woman, the casting for Power Woman. We'll get to that on Saturday night, guys. So, well, that is laying the groundwork for him. Wait a sec. Oh no! Sorry, that was old. I thought that was something new. It wasn't. Sporco, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for watching and behind the scenes across Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. My name is Danny Alex, and I will see you on Poprageous on Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Guys, have a great Friday evening, Friday evening, Saturday day. I'll see you guys in about 45 hours. It was a pleasure. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Sorry, you're still there.
Yeah, baby. Why are you not entertained?
I'm sorry, baby. I didn't know it was your turn.
You. Look at me.
Yes.
What's wrong with being sexy? I mean, there's no sex. It's these go to 11.
Does that mean it's louder?